podcast of 2023.
Are we done? We're ending it?
Of 2023. Of 2023.
Oh, that's fine.
We're almost to the end of 2023.
Yeah,
so
good riddance.
Turn that microphone one more time.
Turn that microphone on.
And welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast. Here, RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
I'm Amanda.
Hey, Amanda, welcome back.
Hi, I'm here.
Man, we got some game awards.
All of them?
Game awards. Some games got awards. Some games didn't get awards. Or I should say, we have the Jeff Keighley trailer explosion that is only tangentially about video games.
Jeff, you got to wrap it up. You got to wrap it up. We don't have time. We don't have time for your speeches,
Thank
Jeff.
you, everybody. Okay, goodbye. Good night. Yeah, so we're gonna have a big old thing. This is like a very modular podcast. I got the Game Awards, and I got like the rest of the news. But we don't have to do the rest of the news, depending on how long it takes to get through the fucking Game Awards.
It just depends on what Jeff Keighley has blessed us with.
3.5 hours long?
Yeah.
3.5 hours long?
I didn't watch it, but I listened to it when John watched it on his phone.
Okay. Well, so good. There'll be some world premieres for you today here as well.
Yeah, I'll get to see them because I just heard them in horrible, like, crackled cell phone noise.
Well, before we get to that, do you want to talk a little bit about what's been going on with you?
About my sudden and but yet inevitable disappearance.
Well, you know, who knows?
So I was kidnapped.
Okay. It was
a taken situation. Let me tell you, Jeff is not Liam Neeson.
I was like, I have no skills. I have no particular set of skills.
I was on the phone with them. We're like, they're coming to get me, and Jeff's like, bye.
I won't find you. Let's be honest here. I'm not going to find you, and I have no skills. Put them on the phone. I don't know who you are. I'll never find out who you are.
Wow, you're really getting away with this, dude. All right, well, I guess good luck to you.
I'm going to do an edit with the exact... I'm going to take that movie thing and then just put my voice in there. It's like... I don't know, man. I guess take her.
I guess she's taken.
I guess she's taken.
Yeah, that's it. Roll credits.
Yep, that's it. It was a very short movie.
Sad.
Yep.
No. So yeah, people have noticed. If you are a Patreon subscriber, you'll know because we talked about it a little bit in the Discord. That I've disappeared for a little bit. Thanksgiving weekend, John got the horrible flu. We went to urgent care. Urgent care said, that is a bad flu, and also pneumonia, and also your blood pressure's crazy high. Go to the emergency room. So we went to the emergency room. The emergency room said, wow, your blood pressure is really high, and we're worried you're going to have a heart attack. And if you don't have a heart, and if we bring your blood pressure down too fast, you won't have a heart attack. You'll have a stroke. So we have to do this.
This is the worst mini game ever.
Yeah, dude, we were not having a good time. It was like the worst. We were like, can we get off this ride, please?
Was Wario there?
Yeah, seriously. He's like, here's another thing. Open these doors. We're like, so yeah, if his blood pressure went down too fast, he'd get a stroke. If we left it that as high as it was, he was going to end up with a heart attack. Yeah. So he had to be monitored in the hospital. While also in the hospital, they found out that his kidneys were failing so much as had already given up. So that was going on. And then he got a little better after a week in the hospital. And then we got home excited and free. And then his pneumonia got so much worse. And so we went right back to the hospital. We had the weekend. Yeah. And then we were like, just a weekend to hang out. And then we went back to the hospital. And then he got treated for his pneumonia. And then they monitored his heart. Because, like, when, your heart's all scary and your kidneys are not doing great, anytime you're, like, really sick, all the doctors get really scared, which is not the thing you want to see. Yeah. But he's home now. So we spent 2 weeks, total of 2 weeks in the hospital. He's home. He's feeling better. We're still on like the long road of kidney issues and blood pressure and all that stuff. But he's doing good. It's like crazy. We got home the second week. The first week he was like couldn't make it up the stairs to the apartment, and the second week he was like almost normal. You wouldn't even know.
Okay, good. So kind of kind of starting the first steps in a positive direction.
Yeah, like the goal for me at this point is to just have like a decent Christmas where we're not like panic, because he was very sick over Thanksgiving. Like Thanksgiving Day he was fine, but like the week surrounding it, the days surrounding it, he was not doing very good. And so hopefully we can do Christmas where Christmas is fine and there's not, you know,
this is one of those things where you've been in it for so long that you're just like, can I just have 48 hours where I don't have to do something crazy or something bad doesn't happen?
Every time I talk to my coworkers, they're like, it's like talking to somebody with PTSD. And I'm like, yes. Like, I can't express how traumatic it can be when you're like, and people were very like, you're handling this really well. So I had to talk to a lot of family members and stuff. And it's like, when you're in the thick of it, you don't think about it. And then like you go home and then you're just like, like it just all hits you. So it's just like, it's a weird, and then I got the flu. That son of a bitch. I sat next to him every day and I was fine.
And what do I get?
And then he comes home and like the last 2 days he was in the hospital, I start feeling a little tickle in the back of my throat and I start getting a little bit of a cough. And then sure enough, I get the flu for the weekend that he's home and he's like, I'm feeling fine. And I'm like, kill me.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's horrible. So if I sound a little weird, you might not know because I haven't been here for 2 weeks, but it's because my voice, I lost my voice for 2 days where it was just, I sounded like a creepy old lady smoker trying to talk children into her car.
Cool.
Like, come on in, child. But yeah, now it's just strained and hurts to talk, but it's fine. Nice. I'm on a podcast.
Yeah. So that's why I brought him in to talk about like probably the biggest, most dense announcement season of all time. Well, I tell you what, we're not going to mess around too much here, but I don't want to put like, I need something to put in the thumbnail. It's not Jeff Keighley's face. So I did one thing last week. I've been really ambivalent this year. And last week I was bored. And so I watched something and it was like unqualified recommendation. Can recommend 100%. Maybe even a spinoff for people who maybe don't even like the main property. And that was Gen V. The boys spinoff.
I've been wondering about that. They're doing another boys spinoff too, like a third one.
Yeah,
or second one, I guess.
One, Diabolical, and then the main series. I thought it was great. Like, you know, it was a lot like if you ever wanted to see like something closer to what traditional superhero things are, because they're all like teenagers or they're all like in college, right? So they're younger people, but they're all
Is this The Boys but CW?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Well, sort of, except that like, you know, one of the superheroes is able to, or one of the main characters in the show is able to shrink down. And you better believe in the first episode, there is a scene of a like 4 foot tall person giving somebody a whole body job, maybe would be the way to go.
Well,
so yeah, the thing is that I watched the first episode and I was like, that was remarkably good. And then I kept watching it and I was like I kept expecting it to get bogged down in like who is having sex or classes. Absolutely not. Like it's more about the screwed up boys stuff. I wish there was some place in the boys universe where somebody was like, what if we created superheroes and then we were just like nice to them?
What if we didn't like make it this thing where horrendously bad things happen to them?
Yeah, they had a couple of good like kind of walk-ons from people in the main thing. I think it's good that because The Boys is a TV show, I don't think anybody on that show is too big to do a walk-on, you know, type of thing. Especially not like who's the guy. What's the name of the guy that plays Homelander on that show?
Oh,
like
I don't
Tony
remember.
Starr or Anthony Starr? Is that it? Anthony Starr?
Tony Starr.
Tony
sounds
Stark?
like a.
Am I thinking of Tony Stark? I think it's Anthony Starr, actually. He seems like he's. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anthony Starr.
2 R's,
baby.
He seems like he loves that like being on that show so much that he's just willing to just do it whenever and wherever. Like I was rewatching the animated ones, and there were a couple where you had that Homelander character in there, and then other characters, and they had like a sound alike for other characters, but it was always him. It was always
That's amazing.
him, so.
I saw a fairly recent interview with him where somebody was asking him like, how do you do the Homelander face? And he's like, what do you mean? And they're like, no, that like psychotic stare you do. And he's like, that's just my face.
It's like, my face, ma'am.
Yeah. He was like, I guess I was meant to be Homelander because that is just what I do.
Also, I caught up on Invincible. Invincible still rules.
Oh, nice.
I know super slow, but
John's been watching. Have you? You're a Doctor Who guy. Have you watched the new Doctor Who stuff?
I did.
How'd you feel about that?
I liked it. I thought that the third one that they put out was kind of a mixed bag because. And I won't go too far into this because I could talk about Doctor Who for a long time, but Russell T Davies loves to bring back old Doctor Who bad guys.
Yeah.
So in the in the first season he brought back the Daleks. In the second season he brought back the Cybermen. In the third season he brought back the Master. And then he basically just reconfigured those. I think the Sontarans came back in one of the ones that he was in.
Yeah.
The character that comes back in The Giggle, which is the third one.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris plays him.
Character is a deep cut to something I have never seen before.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where, when the Doctor gets a scared look on his face and goes, it's that guy, and I'm just like, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy, where I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who that is. It was kind of fun. They've started to pack a lot in, and they're referencing just stuff from so much that you kind of get to a point where it's like, I'm really glad that we wrapped up a lot of that old stuff, and we've, like, if people who've watched it will know what I'm talking about, it's a cleaner slate now than it's been in a while.
Yeah.
And the new guy, from what I've seen, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name yet. I will learn it. I will learn it. Yes.
Yeah.
He comes with a big smile on his face and what seems like a really optimistic attitude.
And no pants.
And no pants.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
And after Jodie Whittaker's first run was really kind of dark.
Yeah.
And like it's been getting progressively darker. And you think like Eccleston, and then you kind of had David Tennant went up a little bit, but then you had Matt Smith who could get really dark.
So because I've had this conversation with John because he was talking about that Ncuti looks like it's going to be like a much more lighthearted.
Yeah.
He's a much more charismatic character, like an enthusiastic character, but.
I think enthusiastic is a better word because I think a lot of I think Peter Capaldi just gets robbed in these conversations because I liked a lot of his shit. But.
Well, he's very charming. It's hard not to like Peter Capaldi, but David Tennant, his run was dark by the end of it.
Yes.
His like depressive fucking everything sucks and I'm not allowed to have any friends run. Was shockingly dark, and everyone just goes, I love David Tennant as a doctor. His hair and is always with the like Alansi and blah blah blah. And it's just like, am I the only one? Am I the only one that remembers that bullshit? And how every other season ended with him crying like a little bitch.
He was dark from the beginning when in the Christmas special. Where he kills that guy and he's like, I'm a new doctor, but like, don't fuck with me. Like basically turns to the camera and is like, so there's been a lot of baggage that's continually built up over the course. In fact, there's a scene in that they really reference, like somebody just kind of lays out what's happened over the last few seasons, and you're just like, oh shit, yeah, this shit's dark.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm excited to see the new guy. I think when I was thinking about it, I really hope that he gets good companions, because I think that like a lot of the Peter Capaldi, I think, was a great doctor. And even though I like the actress, the woman who played Clara, I didn't like her thing. She Amy Pond was good with Matt Smith, but then she left and Clara came in, and it all had to be so momentous. That
She's the reason I stopped watching Doctor Who, and I have not been back since.
Yep.
Because I was like, I don't care. I'm so tired of it means something. This character means something, and it's just
and then I felt like they pulled back too hard with Jodie Whittaker, where she had like 4 people that were wandering around with her, and it was just, and I'm like, I
didn't watch it. John watched it, and he said he really liked her, but he didn't like the writing.
Yeah.
And I felt like whenever he talked about it, I felt like they were trying to like make her Sarah Jane or something, because she had a big crew of people on her show.
Yeah.
And I think they just didn't know how to do like woman Doctor Who. I guess that's Sarah Jane or something.
I don't think Chris Chibnall. I like Broadchurch, but if you were like, hey, the Broadchurch guy is going to he's going to write Doctor Who, and I'd be like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure that's the guy that you want? Like,
Well, I don't know. People are really hyped about Russell T Davies, and I do not like the way he writes, and I did not like his Doctor Who.
Yeah. I don't know. He's a lot more sentimental.
You brought Eccleston and you gave him fart aliens and then got mad that Eccleston wasn't this better. Me and Eccleston feel the same way.
No, I get it. I think there's a good possibility for. I think it's a good that we're kind of getting. We're kind of able to go forward, and I think that Russell T Davies was one of the people who created a lot of the standards of the new run
the
of
modern
Doctor
era,
Who,
yeah,
right,
for
between
sure.
the Eccleston and the Tennant runs. So I'm hoping that he can kind of go back in there, because I felt like when Chris Chibnall wanted to do it, he was like, I want to strip it way down. I wanted to make it go back to basics. But then it was like, but there was never a clever twist at the end.
Yeah,
and
but
I want the clever twist.
I also appreciate wanting to go back to basics when you had Moffat in there for a minute doing the, like, everything was a little too, like, the Doctor always lies, and this is always, everything means something, and then nothing meant anything because he fucking lied and didn't know how to write a story.
By like the fourth Moffat series, it was like, you get through episode 2 and it's like, oh no, we're at the end of the universe and there's a giant TARDIS here. What could it mean? And I'm like, nothing.
Yeah, it's
not going to mean anything.
Look, all I'm saying is Moffat straight up edged the Doctor Who fandom, and then you never got to come. It was not worth it. Yep. It was never worth it.
Anyway,
on that note,
speaking of edging, let's get to the Game Awards. Before we go into the stuff proper, because we are going to have to go at a good pace, especially because of this intro.
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes.
So let's see. Let's talk a little meta. Mm-hmm. The Game Awards for years has been waffling back and forth between whether it wants to be an award show or an ad show. It wants to be both. And last year, I think they got a lot of flack for letting people's acceptance speeches go on for too long.
Yeah.
Which, if you've watched award shows, like I have, which is the reason I don't watch award shows, you have to let those people talk.
That's the whole point. Like,
if you're
going to give them an award, you can't be like, now shut the fuck up.
Right.
Yeah.
So in years past, the awards went on for a long time, and then I think that they've been slowly like accelerating the award part and then or contracting how much time is spent on awards and expanding how much time is spent on world premiere trailers.
Yeah.
This year they got it wrong. They went too far.
Yeah. The course correct was not the right course.
We got that picture that's out there of like Eiji Aonuma accepting this award, this Japanese man who made Father of Legend of Zelda, while there's a big thing that says like wrap it up on a monitor. Sam Lake, I think twice got kind of played off, and they were really aggressive. Like, I've watched award shows, and it was like whoever had their finger on that button, they were just like in 3, 2, 1. Like, it didn't matter if it was in the middle
which
of
is
sentence.
crazy. It's one thing to do that when it's a streamed television on like television, and there's like a specific we blocked this time, and then fucking Big Bang Theory's coming on right after.
Yeah,
but to do that while it's streaming.
Yep.
You could go on for as long as you fucking want. I mean, and I'm not saying you should, but it's weird to be like, no, you guys, if you guys don't run to the mic, forget it. You gotta like,
yeah. And then comparatively, like I would have rather. Some people may not like that I said this, but like I would rather have them cut musical numbers and give that time to people to talk. Yeah. The musical numbers are not as interesting to me as like let Eiji Aonuma talk about what it took to make. Let him thank all the people he wants to thank. Yeah. Like,
if you want any credibility to your awards, you have to make winning the award worth it. And if you treat your winners like crap, it's not going to feel as prestigious to me.
People aren't going to be as interested in
they just like, it doesn't feel like you're respecting your own award.
Yeah. And I think this can be corrected. I think that there is a balance. And last year they probably got closer to it of kind of, one side or the other. Now, the other side of this is that I'm going to tell you right now, all the best trailers that came out of this year's Game Awards were in the pre-show. And in the pre-show, they let people talk a lot longer, and they didn't run through as much stuff. So the idea that we have to have more time for trailers doesn't make any sense when, like, 2023 has been so full of games. There aren't any sequels to make trailers for yet, right? Like, oh, what about a trailer for new Zelda? Well, we had that. What about a trailer for a new Spider-Man? Well, we had that. What about a trailer for a new God of War? We had that last year. We're not getting another one right now.
This was a good year in games for
How
sure.
about Alan Wake? How about Control 2? No. We're still doing Alan Wake 2. Like, you know, there was nothing. What about a new Super Mario game? Nope, we had that this year too. Like, there were very few big franchises. And you know what I think the probably, I don't know what happened. I have a sneaking suspicion. 2 weeks ago, the Last of Us 2 remastered leaked. I know that Keeley loves those dudes. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And 2, I'd be willing to bet that there was some negotiation that happened that didn't work out for that Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, because that would have been, and that was one of the reasons why, like,
that's true.
I'm not quite as mad about it, because I'm like, guys, we had like the biggest trailer of the year like 2 days before the Game Award, like 4 days before the Game Awards. So, or a week before, I don't know, whatever. So anyway, but I came in and I said to the Discord, hey guys, what did I miss? And they were like, not much. And then I went back and started watching it. I was like, you didn't tell me.
You sons of bitches.
So yes, but before we get to that, speaking of edging, let's just go real fast. Baldur's Gate 3 won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Best action game went to Armored Core 6, which I'm really glad about, because I think that Armored Core 6 deserved more love. Zelda got Best Action Adventure Game. I hate this category, Most Anticipated Game. How the fuck do you measure that?
Yeah, what are the metrics for anticipation?
Final Fantasy VII Part 2, Red Dead, or Last of Us for Best Adaptation. Art design was Alan Wake 2. Audio design was Hi-Fi Rush. Best community support for Baldur's Gate 3, which actually I think that one is pretty well deserved, because man, you talk about a game studio that listens to what people want.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Woo. All this content creator was bullshit. Best indie game was Cocoon. I actually think that this one is one that I would argue about, because this was in contention with Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder.
Yeah.
And I think that some of those are better than this.
Cocoon was the one we played, right? Where we kept you like going the yeah. Oh, that was fun though.
It was fun. But a lot of people in the chat were like, apparently you and I played, you remember when we played Pizza Tower, right?
Yeah.
Pizza Tower apparently is fucking like huge.
Oh, I know. I follow a lot of Twitch streamers because when I can't sleep, I just watch people play video games.
Yep.
For some reason, it's a horrible habit. Don't do it. Shut
up, Amanda.
They're like 9 times out of 10, there's 5 people streaming on Twitch. Like 2 or 3 of them are going to be playing Pizza Tower.
Wow.
Like nonstop. And then right now, like Lethal Company is the one that everyone's playing too.
Sure. Yeah. So esports.
Yeah. Who cares? I don't. You don't.
Best family game, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Sure.
What was it up against?
Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars. I think that's legit.
That's fine. I loved Pikmin 4, but I don't think it deserves it. But I feel like Party Animals deserves a little more love than it got.
Maybe, but I don't know. The thing is that this is the only thing that Mario won.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Street Fighter 6 for fighting game.
Sure.
I liked Mortal Kombat 1 better, but I realize why.
Oh, I forgot about Mortal Kombat 1.
Best game direction was Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Games for Impact was Chia.
Sure.
Which this was the one where it's like you play as this little girl, and then eventually becomes Super Mario Wonder, where you can like jump into like seagulls and rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really interesting. It's a very strange game. Best indie game went to Sea of Stars, which is bullshit, because Dave the Diver is right there, and I don't care whether it's indie or not. Anyway, the only other thing that was kind of interesting was that best ongoing game was where they decided to give Cyberpunk its award for kind of most improved, even though that's not really best ongoing game. Like,
is
it's
that
not ongoing?
Yeah, is that not literally A for effort.
Pretty much. Well, the thing is,
you tried. Yay!
No, it's so much better than it was before. It's just that, like, as of right now, it's like complete. Like, there are going to be no more additional updates to that game, like they've said.
Well, doesn't that mean that it has to win now or forever hold their peace?
Here's the thing: the other games in here were Apex Legends, Final Fantasy 14, which is the MMO, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact.
So, like, literally still ongoing, and there is no end because of the kind of game it is.
And, like, this was just a single-player game that got an expansion, right?
Yeah.
Like, it got a rework and an expansion, I guess.
I mean, I'm not against them having a category where, like, yeah, this game came out last year, but the expansion was so good we think it deserves an award. Like, I just, maybe like, if you reworded what the award is, you know what I mean?
Also just goes to show this is all bullshit anyway.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, some of these kind of come off like the high school thing, the like best smile, best, you know what I mean?
Like we got to give everybody an award.
Yeah, everybody gets one.
The Neil Newborn, who played Asterion, got best voice, best performance.
Nice.
And yeah, then Baldur's Gate got best role-playing game. Best score went to Final Fantasy 16. And then Forza for racing. And I don't know. Pikmin got best strategy/sim game, which was a little, I felt a weird category.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I'll take it. I think Pikmin 4 is a great game.
So anyway,
my game of the year, baby. I got little Pikmin.
Those were the awards. Who cares about the awards? Fuck the awards.
So what we're here for.
So, yeah.
I'm here for Jeff Keighley geeking out over Muppets. I'm literally exclusively here for Jeff Keighley geeking out about Muppets.
He didn't even have the Muppets. This other lady, the co-host, was the only one that had the Muppets.
I know, but literally every year, whether or not the Muppets have an ongoing project, they are in the video game awards.
Yep.
In one way or another. You had Bunsen and Beaker, I think, last year, Pepe the year before. Consistently, Jeff Keighley is such a Muppet fan that if you watch Muppet Haunted Mansion, one of the busts that sings the song is Jeff Keighley because he's a Muppet guy. So obviously I have to support Jeff Keighley.
Okay, I get it. All right, so here's let's get into actual trailers. We started with they're remaking Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons,
right? Yeah,
which I think is really cool. Like, that's a very cool game, and it seems like the sort of thing that they're putting a fresh coat of paint on it. I doubt they're going to do anything all that much different. You know, that game is like 3 hours long. Like, it's not a huge game, but it's cool, and it really does. It's got a really nice.
It's very pretty, yeah,
for a 360 game. So.
Wow, I forgot that was a 360 game.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's been 2 console generations. And that's February 28th.
That's
coming out.
Nutty.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. I also forgot that they did this thing where they would rapid fire, where they would just put up like...
the graphics. And then like nobody gets a speech or anything.
They could barely... Well, actually, this is the one where Doug Bowser came out for Mario, but... there were parts when Keighley was doing it where it was like playing the get off the stage music behind him, and he would be like, and the blah 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 blah, and the award goes to blah blah blah, and people start clapping, and he'd be like, and the next category for best sound is blah blah blah, blah. And it was like, whoa, dude.
And I think that's fine. Like, the Academy Awards does that. They do a pre-show where like technical stuff tends to get awarded, and then on television they will do and these people already won, you just didn't see it, and then they'll like do I think that's fine. It's just the way they do it. It's clear they're not like actually letting these people have moments.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got, this is another one where I shouldn't bang on the Discord, because a lot of the things I'm most excited about happen in the pre-show. Pony Island 2 got announced.
Oh, yeah.
So, the guy that made Inscription and the Hex. I don't know if you and I played the Hex, but anyway, Pony Island was great. I think I played that whole thing with Sarah, to be honest.
Oh, my God. That long ago.
And it was very weird. It was kind of about this like arcade game that taps into heaven, and the devil was coming at you. This looks to be very similar, with a bunch of weird shit going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
And there's like live action in it, which has happened in a couple of other things.
Oh, I know that guy.
Is he a YouTuber?
He's like a TikToker. Yeah, a YouTube TikTok guy.
But there's like man, there's like
He's
pixel
a voice
stuff.
actor, yeah.
There's like 3D stuff. There's like live action stuff. There's like all kinds of stuff going on in here. I love this guy, this developer. Even though his games are not Daniel Mullins, even though it's not like the greatest. Some they have issues, but I appreciate the moxie.
Yeah,
like he's got a lot of chutzpah.
Sometimes you gotta like accept some of the flaws to get the like fun games. You know.
So that's 2025. Amanda?
Yes, sir?
What you're seeing right here...
What am I looking at?
...is the sequel to Case of the Golden Idol that nobody told me was a thing.
Dude, okay, no. Okay, but really, because John was talking to me about, like, because I wasn't watching it. Yeah. He was watching it. And so I'm like, you know, just texting friends, texting family, whatever. Right. And John's watching it while we're in the hospital. And he goes, I asked him what trailer he was watching, and he's like, Case of the Golden Idol or Rise of the Golden Idol.
Yeah, I think it's Rise of the Golden Idol.
A trailer for Rise of the Golden Idol. I'm like, is that a sequel to Case of the Golden Idol? Jeff's probably flipping his shit right now.
I didn't know because it was in the pre-show.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people in the Discord didn't watch the pre-show. And then I came in and I was like, what just happened? And then later on I was going through the thing and I was like, wait a yeah. I know those words.
Had I known you didn't know, I would have messaged you right away.
Yeah. So like, wowzers. And it's like, it's all in 3D now. Even though they still have the fucking horrible mutant people.
Yeah, they're not attractive people.
I don't care what it is, man. That game was so good. I will play whatever comes next. I played all that DLC. Like good to go.
Weird crack for you.
Yep, I love it. Maybe this one we can figure out if it comes out in the right place. We can do like a sequential where I don't just like tear ass through it.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of fun with you and I tried to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that one's going right away. And I like the fact that because this, obviously the first one was such a surprise hit, and it looks like this one's got like Netflix is shoving money behind it.
Yeah, which is interesting.
They're probably able to just like, boom, let's do a sequel right now. We'll put it out in a year, you know, type of thing. So, yep. This last one was called Usual June. This is about this kind of teenager, and it's kind of an adventure game, and it's got some like action stuff and ghosts and stuff. It's made by a group that made this game called Overland that was about these people kind of driving through a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
And then Finji is publishing it. I think there's a lot of these games where you have to know the pedigree of the developers in order to get excited.
Yeah.
Because by default, you would just be like, well, this is some indie bullshit.
Yeah.
This one I'm not so sure about because I never really played Overland, even though Finji, if I understand correctly, they've published some really interesting things. Let's see.
I feel like I've seen another game that has a very...
Tunic and Chicory and like I was a teenage exocolonist, so and like Night in the Woods, so like a lot of stuff that people know.
Yeah. I feel like the protagonist is I feel like there's another game that has a protagonist that looks very similar to her.
I think so.
And I cannot put it bothered me because I thought it was a sequel to it.
Yeah.
But like a woman of color in like pastel pink with that hairstyle, the like all on one side kind of thing. God, it's just like bothering me how like I can see the poster in my mind's eye. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but like indie folks have decided on mainstream is like white dude with 5 o'clock shadow,
right?
And indie is like a woman of color in pastels.
Sure, yeah. Won't be the last time that we see that.
Yeah, which is fine. It's just funny to me, like. So
yeah, that's 2025. Let's see from there. This was I think where things got a little bit generic. This thing called Ark Knights Enfield. Ark Knights is like a gotcha strategy game. There's just some anime cat lady in some kind of future, getting another cat lady out of some kind of future. And then
that's our future cat lady?
They're going to fight the future with their cat lady. Anime booby powers. So
nice.
This looks like there's like going to be 4 games that fall into this category where I don't feel like I have to pay that much attention to them because it's just like, this is just something that is going to end up being like a PvE extraction thing that people play because they think the protagonists are hot.
Yeah.
The end.
Ta-da!
Like the fact that like when you get to the end of it, it's got like, if I'm not mistaken, PS5, Windows, App Store, Google Play Store.
Yeah.
So, hello. Let's see. From there, we had a bunch of ads for stuff that's already out, and we don't have time to talk about stuff that's already out. So
we're past that.
Yep.
It's already out.
The next thing that we got is a thing called oh, come on, Game Awards. Work with me here. Go faster. It's called Harmonium the Musical.
Oh yeah,
and it's about a young woman who's deaf, and then but it's like a full musical.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting because she's deaf and she signs, but then like her signing kind of this mystical kind of thing where it becomes like full on musical music.
Yeah,
with these big kind of set pieces and whimsy. That was the word I was looking for. Very whimsical.
Yeah, very whimsical.
It's being made by the Odd Gentleman, which it's weird because
what else have
they made a game a long time ago called The Misadventures of PB Winterbottom that was about a little guy with a big nose with pies on his head.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did a bunch of other stuff, and then one of the things that happened was they ended up getting hooked into the whole Homestuck community, trying to do like animations in their game that they promised people. And then after that, they ended up doing a King's Quest episodic adventure game. But it's been like 5 years since they've done anything, and so I think this is what they've been working on. I gotta say that like all the animation and the music for this, which unfortunately you can't hear, but it's like very professional sound, and looking like it's very charming.
Yeah, the design for their characters is really nice.
It reminds me of when we saw that. Is that game with the lady that takes the little spirits, Kina or whatever, and the spirits?
Yeah.
Where it was like, man, we're getting so close to just being able to be like, oh, that's just DreamWorks animated, but I get to play it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, these character designs look like they'd be concept art for Guillermo del Toro film. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like it's pretty good. It's also due Netflix and Game Pass. From there, we saw. Again, this is one of those ones where like I watched it and I know too much about this stuff because I didn't get excited until the end when I saw who was making it. This is a game called Windblown. It's got it's got these like three little animal people, this little axolotl guy, and they're being told to go fight. It's an animated trailer.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Fight this guy who then just like they all are brutally murdered. This is being made by Motion Twin, who made Dead Cells, and Dead Cells was like one of my favorite games when it came out.
Yeah,
this is like a top-down third-person action game, and by any other developer, I would be like, oh, this looks generic as hell.
Yeah,
but these guys made something that if you looked at it could be like, oh, that looks generic as hell, but it played really well.
Yeah,
and so this could be that it plays really well, and that's what does it. Also, I like the fact that everybody's cute, but it's also really violent.
Yeah, I mean, they are getting bludgeoned.
Yeah, like turning into actual pools of blood.
Yeah.
And also I like the little axolotl main character guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that design is really cute. I'd watch an anime on that.
It's going to early access next year. Boom. Thrasher is a PC rhythm game from the people that made Thumper. Thumper is a PC. This is a VR rhythm game on the PC. They make this game where you can kind of put whatever music you want. Like you can just load an MP3 and it'll dynamically generate a track for you. I'm not as interested in this. I'm not as
This
interested
is
in the
VR?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just die.
Yeah.
Like my whole brain would not, it would just shut down.
Also, the way you got to chase these note patterns.
Yeah, I would straight throw up.
Yeah. Let's see. After that, we got the Persona 3 reload trailer. I don't think there's anything here that hasn't really been seen before.
Yeah.
The remake of Persona 3, it looks like Persona 5. It's got all the music and all the craziness.
Woo.
Yep. I'm going to save my hype for the other thing that this team is making that comes later. Oh, yeah. This wasn't even on my list. Dave the Diver got Dredge DLC. So Dredge is like the Cthulhu boat game.
Cthulhu fishing game.
Yeah, and the two of them teamed up to make a DLC where Dave the Diver goes to Dredge and like gets the Cthulhu fish and then feeds it to weirdos and stuff.
That's amazing.
It's great.
That's a good combination.
Yep.
That's
Free
such
DLC.
a good idea. I love that.
Let's see. After that, we got this is so weird. I haven't seen this developer in a long time. World of Goo 2.
Yeah.
Which I'm not even like. Some people were really excited. I think I tried playing the original World of Goo, and I was like, "It's all right." Like,
I wasn't a big
fine.
Yeah, but I thought that was really weird to hear. I hadn't heard that name in years.
Yep, they're such a weird developer. I think that guy like made a good amount of money on the first couple projects he put out, and was able to just kind of do whatever. I mean, it looks like World of Goo. I'm not really super familiar with World of Goo, so I don't feel like I can really comment.
I just remembered that name always sounded like a sex joke.
I'm living in a world of goo. So yeah, World of Goo coming out. I think next year. Something. Yes, next year.
2024.
And then let's see. So here's what I was going to say to the Persona 3. We actually got another trailer for Metaphor ReFantazio, which is the new thing that's being made by I think one of the Persona studios. But it's really weird. It's like in another fantasy world, and it's all about making like friends with people. And then there's like
is that an egg person?
It's all weird. Yes.
Yeah.
Like
it looked like he fought a deviled egg.
Yep. I can barely keep the name of the game in my head because it's like
you can't remember ReFantazio?
Yes, Metaphor : ReFantazio. I can now because I've been saying it all week to myself.
Yeah.
But this looks like some steampunk Persona. I don't even know how to describe it. It's really weird.
It is very weird.
But I'm here for it. It looks like some of that anime bullshit.
Give me more of that weirdness.
Give me some of that weird anime bullshit. You got like devils, little bunny people, and heterochromia, and just weird.
They really do love when people have two different color dyes.
Yep.
Like, can't get enough of it.
Yeah, and there's also some kind of weird. It's got some kind of like, whoever's got the most support gets to rule the kingdom, and then you've got to go around and make friends and beat people up and do stuff. Even the logo is hard to read because of the way the A in Metaphor.
It looks like sporting gear. Logo, do you know what I mean? You'd see it on a punching bag or something. Like my duffel bag where I put my cleats, it's a metaphor bag.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor for the baggage in which I carry with me at all times.
So from there, they actually started the show. That was all pre-show.
Yeah.
The main show is not nearly as interesting as the pre-show. So
yeah. Poor Jeff Keighley. Do you think it's hard being really boring? He's such a boring dude. He's so generically human. It's just like he's surrounded by these larger-than-life video game people.
Yep.
And he's just Jeff Keighley.
He's just Jeff Keighley.
Like, he seems like a nice guy, but he's just...
He seems like he's got everybody's phone number.
Yeah,
like
you know what I mean? You know. He's so, like, okay that everyone just seems fine with him.
So I think that there's a lot of value, and I say this because I put myself into similar category as Jeff Keighley, not because we're both named Jeff, but because we're both somewhat bland white dudes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of merit in being like, you're a regular guy who's not like doing cocaine and live streaming it and has everybody's phone number, but keeps his fucking mouth shut and just knows who to call to book the Staples Center if you need it, and the people to hire to turn on the music at the right time.
He is like a prime example of if you're just kind of polite to people, you can really go far.
Kind of like I am constantly shocked at the level of incompetence that most of the world has. And so when you find people that are competent, you're like, oh, thank God you could do regular. But then like you start doing regular and the world is like, oh my God, are you a superhero?
Oh my God. That literally I've been gone from work for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I come in.
The whole place is on fire.
No, kind of. We got these, we cap bottles, and the caps are so hard to twist that everyone has blisters all over their hands. And everyone's like, we got to do something. We're all going to be like carpal tunnel in 2 weeks time.
Sure.
And I was like, well, have you guys looked up like things that people with arthritis use to open and close bottles? And they were like, what do you mean? Because they were like, we got to get this $5,000 piece of machinery that's like a Dremel hanging from a ceiling that like and closes a bottle. And I'm like, right, but like they look like nutcrackers. It's like a handle, and you just hold it and gives you the leverage to turn it. People with arthritis use it to like open jars.
Yeah,
like old people use it to open jars.
Somebody has this problem before.
Yeah, and
why don't you Google what they did and then go to Amazon and buy it?
Yeah, and then I was like, let me. I literally looked on Amazon. I was like, it's $6 and we can get it in a couple of days. Yeah. And they were like they all like the whole world stopped and they all stared at me. They talked to the like our board of directors about me because I suggested this. One time they had to count bottle caps and I was like, why don't you just weigh how much a cap is and then weigh the rest of the caps and then and they were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, sometimes it feels like being a god amongst ants. I'm just a little confused.
I have a lot of stories that go down that same road, and it's just like, so that is the answer to why Jeff Keighley is because like everybody else.
He just walks in and is like, have you ever thought about using a hole punch? And then everyone's like, oh my God. Like he just like the simplest answer.
Yeah. Like a lot of these people are busy being artists. And meanwhile, you need some guy to be like, well, did you call them and book the Staples Center? And they're like, oh, shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Why don't you call them right now?
Jeff Keighley literally was like, what about if we did like a video game awards? And everyone's like, oh, my God, he's like the smartest guy I've ever met.
We have the story later on. E3 is dead.
Yeah.
And Jeff Keighley was the guy who was like, well, I mean, I guess I could have my own E3. Like, I know the numbers to the developers. I talked to them. Like, I just call them up and be like, hey, Neil Druckmann, do you want to announce your next thing like in July? They're not doing E3. I'm going to be doing it's like E3.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to just do it for my thing? No, like, you fly to LA. Like, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. He's like, I'll buy you lunch.
Speaking of flying to LA, Matthew McConaughey flew to LA.
They really wanted this to be a Keanu Reeves moment.
Sort of. Yeah.
But it's not because it's Matthew McConaughey.
He's just too.
Speaking of generic white men.
Yes. He's too.
This one has an accent and everyone loses their fucking minds.
But you know what's strange is that the game that he announced, well, one, they're developing it like down the street from us.
Yeah.
Because their development
Austin's
office.
very
are in the domain.
Their offices are in the domain.
Yep. That's what he said. He said it during the thing.
I remember him saying Austin, but I didn't think about the domain.
Yep. He
That's
literally
so
funny. The domain. And then two, I went and looked this up, and like, this game is being made by a bunch of ex-BioWare people, and they're like the guy that wrote Dragon Age 1 and Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 and Baldur's Gate 2 and like the guy that was the director for like Mass Effect 2 and like Dragon Age, like the games that people really like from BioWare. Yeah. And so then they had this trailer, and it's like this, it's called Exodus. And I was like, I think it's one of those things where, again, it's like you have to look into this because you could watch this and it could just be like, oh, this is basic. It's like just a space game. But
like, because you know who's doing it, like the space game people, they did Mass Effect.
Those dudes all left BioWare, and BioWare was garbage from that point on.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, well, there's hope that maybe these were the guys that were bringing the chops when it came to directing and writing and producing and things like that. I mean,
it's always worth it to try it out, but if your pitch is Matthew McConaughey, you're not going to win me over.
Well,
that's stunt casting, baby. I don't give a fuck.
He does some voice in the game. Yeah. All I know is it looks a lot like Mass Effect, but like better.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, that'll win me over.
The people are like slightly stylized.
Yeah, which is honestly fine. To me, slightly stylized either means they just didn't want to go too realistic and be too compared to Mass Effect.
Sure.
Or they didn't have the ability to make realistic or like hyper realistic characters, so they were like, well, if we stylize them a little, we don't really have to worry about it.
I think slightly stylized characters hold up better in the long run.
Yeah, 100%,
because you don't see the edges as much as the fake people.
You're it's much more forgiving.
So part of this is also dealing with time dilation at light speeds, which is something that I like, being the jerk nerd that I am, about how like you go through the wormhole and you travel faster than light, and then it's been like 40 years since you left. It's been like 40 minutes for you.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to make like choices about where you go and what you do. And I'm like, oh, I'm tired of time loops. That could be good. And then what they showed of the game looked very pretty.
It was very pretty.
Well put together, very competent and action-packed. And
listen, if this is a Mass Effect, people, that means there's an opportunity that I might be able to have sex with all new different aliens.
Sure.
I am here for it. I will become the Traveler.
That robot, that one guy... That lady.
Yeah. The lady. There's a lady with a nice haircut.
Yep.
I'll fuck a wormhole.
So I don't know. I think this is really exciting. Like I think that like you could look at it and it could be like, oh, that was really generic. But I'm really excited to see what this
good,
does.
Though.
So
it could be generic and good at the same time.
Makes you want to go
like
down,
Jeff Keighley.
Makes you want to go down to the domain and be like, hey, I'm a YouTuber.
Dude, every time I hear like they make this video game in Austin, this company, I'm always like,
can I go there?
Do you think they'll let me? Do you think they want to hang out?
Yep.
The answer is no, by the way. They never want to hang out.
This is crazy. They put out a full free DLC for God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
Valhalla. I've been playing it for the last 2 days nonstop. I have to uninstall it. I have to stop. It's like a roguelike. It's like an epilogue to that game. And it's a roguelike where you play as Kratos and you go into these areas that are they're not like randomly, they're like a number of different rooms that are put together in a random order with different random dudes in them.
Is that not what a roguelike is?
Well, it's not procedurally generated. Like the environments themselves aren't generated from a seed or anything like that.
Okay.
As you play through it, it ends up being very repetitive because like there's kind of two parts to it. And the first part of these little combat arenas that are put together in a random order. And the second part is this kind of larger thing that's always the same. It doesn't change shape at all. But this is really good. Like, I mean, you can beat the quote unquote story part. It's got a lot of like new voice acting and story and stuff in it that it's got a lot of unlocks, a lot of good reasons to go back and play it over and over again.
Nice.
It's got that good God of War combat. It's completely free and
even better, completely free.
And it came out last week. Like it's a really good reason to go back and play that. It's really fun.
Nice.
They could have charged. I've been in the subreddit looking at people talk about it. They honestly could have charged money for this. They could have charged like $20 for it, and people would have paid it and not complained even a little bit. So,
I mean, they'll complain. This is, in the day and age we live in, you think they won't complain?
That's true. People on the internet complain about candy.
They're probably complaining about it being free.
Yeah. No, they should have charged money.
They sure, it's bad business. It's their fault. They're stupid for it. And it's like, why are you complaining about it?
From there, we saw Big Walk by House, who are the people who made Untitled Goose Game. This is obviously something very different than Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck this is, but it looks weird.
Yeah, but I'm into weird.
It's like a very kind of realistic looking sort of world, but then the characters, they all look like little drinky birds.
Yeah.
Like the drinky bird, sort of, but with like legs and stuff.
I don't know what the character is originally, but in Smash Brothers, there's this like pixelated like silhouette of a dude.
Mr. Game & Watch.
That's what they remind me of.
Okay, I could see that.
A little bit of like, And
it's like some kind of multiplayer exploration thing, but I can't tell what kind of multiplayer exploration. I'm usually pretty good at like intuiting what a game is from a trailer. I cannot for the life of me tell what the hell this is.
I mean, is that bad?
Is
this
it exploration? Is it like the fact that everything is so realistic except for these weird little monster men?
I know, but I kind of love it for that.
With their like weird cartoons.
It kind of reminds me of Bug Snacks.
I can see that.
Like that, just the weirdness, just that unsettling feeling in my soul that Bug Snacks did. This does that too.
And it seems like you're going to control your arms. Like there's a lot of stuff where it seems like you can independently control your arms to go into like different, like you can wave or you can put your arms in different like positions and it affects the world. I don't know, man. It's one of those ones too where like I can see somebody watching this trailer and being like, that looks weird and unsettling. I'm just like, I have played Untitled Goose Game.
I'm in.
I am in. No matter what it is, I will. I'm
into it.
I'm willing to check it out, and that's coming out in 2025. It's sad that we're at the
2025. I don't have that kind of time. I'm not going to make it.
We got 2 weeks. We got 3 weeks until 2025.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So
I don't like it.
I don't like where Christmas is, Amanda. I don't like Christmas on a Monday because that's where it is this year.
Yeah.
Because it means that like your work doesn't have to give you any time off.
Yeah.
Like all my friends are just like, well, yeah, I get like the 26th. Like you get that week off, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, you're still going to work on Friday the 22nd. I don't know. I like it better when you get like a big weekend.
Yeah, like I mean, I get a 3-day. It's better for me because I don't get Christmas Eve off, but it's on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let's see. From there, we had one of the extract. No, wait. What is it? Oh, this is that's in my list. This is a trailer for that Prince of Persia game that's coming out.
Yeah.
Looks great. Absolutely great. I went and looked this up. Like, it's so interesting because I didn't know which part of Ubisoft was making this, and it's Ubisoft Montpellier. They are the studio that made the last bunch of Rayman games.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm infinitely more interested in this now. Like, they did some work on some other games, obviously, because there hasn't been a Rayman game in a long time. Like, the last thing they made was like an iOS Rayman game that came out a few years back.
Huh.
But I'm like, if anybody could make a 2D, because I thought it might have been the people that made Immortals Phoenix Rising. But then I was looking at it, I was like, well, even better. Those guys know how to do 2D.
Very fun 2D games, too.
And everything about this looks fucking great.
Yeah.
I love every single thing about that.
Actually, once you say that, you can kind of connect it, and it makes it more like, I can already tell how it's going to feel playing it in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. There was a trail. I don't know if we'll get to it, but there was a video that I had later on that was a little bit bigger deep dive where they showed like the map and the upgrade system and stuff. And I'm just like, I am in. I am 100% in. And there's going to be a demo for this on January 11th, and I think it comes out January 18th. Yeah. So, these were just ads because here's the Lego Fortnite ad. Okay, well, this is going to take a while because when we come back, then we had to have the Hellblade singers.
Oh, yeah.
Which was just like, set stuff on fire.
This is music.
They showed a little bit of Senua's Sacrifice 2. It's funny. This is one of those things like Bryce and I played that new Avatar game that came out last week.
Yeah.
Hellblade is one of those things where it's like, I liked Hellblade. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like the amount of hype that they keep giving Hellblade 2, I'm just like, I mean, the first one was fine, but like...
But didn't the first one kind of come out of nowhere? Like nobody was like expecting it to be as good as it was.
I mean, I was, but that was because I was keeping track of the studios.
Yeah.
It was the studio that made that Enslaved game with Andy Serkis, and they made that Heavenly Sword game. It was like a PS3 launch game. Yeah. So I liked that studio.
Because I don't know if like my memory serves me right, but like I remember people just being totally flabbergasted by the first one.
I guess. I mean, it was very impressive. It was like they kind of lit on like an art style and stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact. Maybe it's just one of those things where I can get cantankerous about just like, okay, guys, like I get it. I get it.
Well, the problem and the video game industry is like the biggest victim of it is like the
overhype cycle.
They love to build a hype train and they love to ride that bitch to the end. You know what I mean?
All the way to the fucking ground. Anyway, it looks fine. I mean, it looks fine.
It looks like Hellblade. Yeah.
Yep. So here was the really interesting thing. God, we got to go through awards. Fuck off. See, this is why
Sam Lake.
This is Sam Lake.
Look at that handsome devil.
This is the first time he got cut off.
That's fine. Yeah, you cut him off once, you cut him off 1,000 times.
This was really interesting because this started with a trailer for a studio called Unseen. And I've been watching Unseen for a while because this is the studio that Ikumi Nakamura founded when she left Tango Softworks. I watched she just did like a little like tour of the studio. And then and then they brought her out to basically do the intro for her new game. This is another one that I missed when it was happening. She's just a straight up weirdo.
I know, I love her.
And she's great. She's kind of learned a little bit more English, but not a lot more.
Yeah,
There's kind of a point where she said something and it didn't really land. And she wasn't sure whether to keep waiting for applause or to like just move on to the next thing. At the very end, she kind of did the itadakimasu where with like she did the viral clip from E3 2019 probably, I think, at this point.
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
But
I like her jacket.
She did like a bunch of really interesting little artsy videos when she was founding her studio, where she would just go like, oh, this was a fort from World War II, and I'm just going to take a bunch of pictures, and this guy's going to film me taking pictures and walking around in here and being like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. So the question will be whether this project that they're making called Kamuri is good. I gotta tell you, it's got a hell of a trailer. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't.
But it's very stylized. It reminds me a lot of like Spider-Verse, but in Japan.
Yeah, I kind of get that vibe.
And then it's got a we're not listening to the audio on it, but it's got a lot of like real kind of thumping stuff. It's got these kind of like really frenetic characters. It's got kind of a combination of 3D and 2D, and then in kind of line with her whole aesthetic at the end, they kind of look and they see all these oni and kind of like demons kind of coming towards a group of players or something, and I'm like, that looks rad.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like fucking great. I want to play that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I want to play it. Again, another thing where it didn't show very much, but I'm so excited to see what she does next, because the last thing she did was Evil Within 2. You and I played all the way through that. I thought it was great.
Really enjoyed it, yeah.
Especially the art design.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. What else do we got here? I tell you what. Let's go to...
We need the wrap it up music. Come on, Jeff. Come on, let's go.
We're doing a little more. So the next one was called No Rest for the Wicked. And this is being made by Moon. High Moon? No, not you. The other one.
Not.
Keeley. Okay. This is the studio that made Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh.
And Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those things where I'm like, that studio has, like, they've made very, very, very enjoyable video games. This is a very, like, kind of nautical theme, and it's got this very interesting art design where everything is kind of, it's like 3D, but then it's got a kind of a semi-painter. Oh, it looks like the Netflix show that everybody was into from League of Legends.
Oh, fudge.
Not Valorant. That's the different game. But you see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do see what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it. I didn't watch it, but I remember everyone talking about it when it came out.
And it's got this very kind of like monsters.
Oh, you know what that monster looks like?
What's that?
It looks like the bear from Annihilation.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yep. And then like something with boobs came out.
Whenever I'm depressed, I watch Annihilation, and then
that's no good. That's not helping.
And it really puts things in perspective. And yet I'm still alive, so it really works out.
Okay, Moon
Just
Studio.
Moon Studios. You're trying to add more words to something very simple.
Well, there's a High Moon Studios.
That's
and
true.
There's that new Rebel Moon thing from Zack Snyder is coming out.
Yeah, there's too many moons, if you ask me.
Some kind of third-person action game with like monsters and like kind of New World. What would you call this aesthetic of kind of like what the conquistador New World kind of 1500s type of thing? I really like how it looks. Like it looks I'm sort
amazing. Of into it. I'm really liking that people are leaning in towards this like a gothic vibe, like not necessarily like goth, but like that. I don't know. Everything looks like it could be a stained glass story or something.
Take your character stuff and then see what you could do with the art. Also, I mean, if you go back and watch it specifically, Amanda, there's like a kind of a sea shanty going in the background, which is like pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that vibe was on point for me.
Yep. And then let's finish this up. There's another thing I feel like not a lot of people talk about. They're all just like, oh, it was disappointing. So I didn't know that this had happened. This was so weird. If I can get past the fucking game ads.
You cannot.
There's that Avatar game. There's a Discord commercial for Discord.
Gonzo!
There's Gonzo.
See, he was with Jeff Keighley.
Oh, he was with Jeff Keighley.
How? Oh, yeah.
This is for best debut indie games. My goodness, you guys. So Sega put out this trailer.
Yeah.
And it's very weird because it's like these two people sitting on a couch.
Yeah.
And then like stuff in the world kind of starts like disappearing and they're playing games. There's like an earthquake. And then it kind of comes like all these Sega items start disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
Sega announced like remake/remasters of Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, Crazy Taxi, and Shinobi.
Yeah.
Like in this one trailer.
Yeah. So it's so funny. I went to the restroom and I came back and I asked John, like, what happened? And what did I miss? And John goes, I don't know, like Sega's doing all of their old games again.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know what that means.
Yep. And they're all different. Like the Shinobi looks like Mark of the Ninja.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of hand animated thing. Golden Axe is like kind of 3D. Jet Set Radio has like the cell shading, and Crazy Taxi looks all crazy.
Is it weird that I'm like more hyped for Crazy Taxi than anything else? And I'm not really hyped, but like
Streets of Rage.
if I'm gonna play anything, it's probably gonna be Crazy Taxi.
I mean, you know,
It's just like such a nostalgia.
I never played Crazy Taxi. I never played the original. It was when it was out.
Exclusively played games where you were in a car and wreaked havoc on people when I was a kid. So
Crazy Taxi, Grand Theft Auto, Simpsons Hit and Run,
Twisted Metal.
Hello. Yeah, this is great. All this is great. Like I'm super into it.
Yeah.
Again, we didn't have anything on the level of Grand Theft Auto 6, but like this is good eating right here.
Yeah, I think people really just want the big, and they don't want the little.
The little bigs?
The little bigs. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know.
I think it's a good size, and maybe they need to appreciate it a little more.
It's not about the size.
Maybe it was cold outside, and it just wasn't as big as you thought it was going to be.
It's not about the size of the game announcement. It's how you use it, okay? Yeah. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, I'm going to see about unfreezing my browser, and we still have... 2 hours of Game Awards?
Oh,
okay.
Jesus.
Nah, we're gonna start doing trailers only. I had enough of this bullshit. All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Here we are. We've been here the whole time.
There's so much more Game Awards left to go.
Can we lightning round at this early in the game?
I don't know. Let's just do what we can. We got our first trailer for Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. Mm-hmm. This is the new Budokai Tenkaichi game. Michael will be back next week, everybody.
I was going to say, you think Michael will be really hyped about this?
Yes.
He already said he's very hyped about this?
I already know he's very hyped about this because it's got the words dragon and ball. So
his two favorite things.
Yes, exactly. So looks like a bunch of that Dragon Ball nonsense to me, but what do I know? I'm not a Dragon Ball guy.
Yeah, what do I know? I'm not Michael.
I'm not Michael. We got the world premiere of the casting of Frank Stone.
I don't know what that means.
So this is a single-player adventure Dead by Daylight game. Like it's in the world of Dead by Daylight.
Like a story campaign?
I believe so. I think this is going to be like an Until Dawn kind of thing.
Oh.
Because I think Dead by Daylight has been branching out because they had that like the dating sim they put out. You remember the one that you and I did you and I play that? Where it was like all the murderers and you're on the island with all the murderers from Dead by Daylight?
Yeah. I forgot that was Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. So I think that this is another, like, this is like an Until Dawn style.
We played so many fucked up dating sims.
I know. How could you remember? How could you be expected to remember? This trailer is just a bunch of like horror imagery. So
yeah, these are just pictures of hooks.
I gotta find out more when they show me something that's not a regular trailer.
Like a slideshow. This is like a PowerPoint of spooky.
Pretty much. We got a trailer. Yeah, we're done with like watching this in the Game Awards window because there's too much.
It took too long. We kept seeing Jeff Keighley's face. It kept distracting us.
Visions of Mana is a new game there's an old franchise called, like, it started with Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
They've been continually making games.
We used to get drunk and play that when I was in college.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
This is a new one called Visions of Mana. They translated all those games into 3D games, and now this is a new one in that kind of overall world and franchise. It looks incredibly like that.
Yeah.
Like it's all like, look, those are little bunny slimes like they've got in that game. Yeah. So
I barely remember it on account of my non-sobriety when I played it.
Sure.
I won't be able to play this one unless I am very drunk.
There's a big octopus.
It's cute though. I remember they really lean into like a cuter art style.
I was telling somebody before that I feel like maybe starting in 2021, the video game industry has gotten a lot better at making stuff look anime inspired.
Yeah.
Like it looks more like anime and it looks less like garbage. Like it used to look like absolute dick face.
That sounds very judgmental, and yet
it's true.
I agree. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, you're not entirely wrong.
They've gotten better at the cell shading. They've got better at the colors and the way that things move around and the character designs.
Yeah, there's like a flow between the action and movement of these characters that I feel like feels nicer.
Yep. We got a pre-order trailer for Rise of the Ronin. So this is the latest game from Team Ninja, who does like they made like the Ninja Gaiden games. They made Neo. They made a game called Wu Long. It was like a Chinese mythology thing. This is the next thing that they're making, and we saw a very brief trailer for it. I think at one of the Summer Games Fest. It looks a lot like that PlayStation game. The Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, okay. That's what it was reminding me. I couldn't think of what it was, but yeah.
But then in that one, it was also kind of like crossed almost a little bit with Assassin's Creed because of all of this like weird
like
gliders
flying,
and grappling hooks and stuff. I didn't care for the last Team Ninja game, but this one looks like it's a little bit more up my alley as long as it doesn't get too ridiculously difficult. It's a little rough around the edges graphically. Like it's not as polished as some of the other stuff.
Yeah, but enough. I think it's kind of forgivable.
Yeah.
Like, because the action that's happening in it looks so fun.
Yeah. A lot of it's going to depend on whether they've kind of started with Neo of doing like Souls inspired action. I'd rather this be more like Ninja Gaiden where it's kind of a button jammy thing instead of the super you got to pay attention or you'll die kind of action. But
yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know, man. People love that.
It's all the rage. It's all the rage.
Literally, it's all the rage.
It is
like
all
it's all of my rage.
It's all of RageSelect. We played all of them except for.
Oh my god! Why has RageSelect's like catch line not been it's all the rage? How the fuck did we get 8? How we're like 10 years deep?
It's
and we
10 years. It's like a fine wine. These things bubble up to the surface.
Jesus Christ!
RageSelect.
Whole time.
It's all the rage.
Yeah. Why? Fuck Jesus! It's so smart. Fuck, we could have had this on T-shirts. You guys would have worn it, right?
Whole time. Speaking of things that are super cool, Hideo Kojima showed...
He came out of the door.
So did you watch the whole thing with him and Jordan Peele and stuff?
No, I just watched two guys walk out of a door, and that was about as much attention
It was
as
interesting. They put out this teaser trailer, and it's like... There's a few actors. This lady she was in
D&D.
Yes, she was in D&D. And then there was another lady that was from Euphoria. One of the people from Euphoria. She's been in other stuff too.
Yeah, she was in It. Wasn't she?
Yes, that was probably where most people would know her from.
She looks very young and like an adult at the same time, and I can't remember her name.
It is Sophia Lillis.
Yeah.
So they kind of had this. So you didn't actually watch specifically this?
No, I didn't see specifically this.
So these people, it's her, and then there's this other person from Euphoria.
If you play it and it's in here, I will know who the person
I don't think.
Is it the blonde girl?
Yes. They said they put her name up on the screen.
Oh,
I don't know if
that's
her.
Hunter. Yeah,
I don't know.
Hunter Schafer.
They'll put her name. Okay, so what's really interesting is that these people are saying like a sentence, and it's a really weird.
Schafer. Yeah.
Hunter Schafer. It's a really weird sentence. It's like the purple dog goes on Friday outside to.
This sounds like it's a trick, and they got those women to say that, and that they're like, you've said the phrase that like every AI can now take that and turn it into.
And then the third thing is Udo Kier.
Oh wow! Wow, his face has so much detail.
And the thing is, all of their faces have a lot of detail.
I know,
Like,
but his has the coolest.
He just has a lot
one.
of wrinkles and
No, he has these little like spots across his. Like I don't know how to explain it, but
and then they have these people. They all say the same thing, and then at the end they go back to the main lady, and you can see in the reflections in her eyes, like a door opens, and then like a shadow goes across the door, and then she screams. So there's the door opening, and then she screams, and that was it. That was all they showed. So one, leave it to Kojima to be the person who gets as obsessive as humanly possible about mapping a human face in a level of detail that I don't think I've seen before.
yeah, it's beautiful.
And then to use it for a horror game.
I mean, yeah.
It was really...
Also, Kojima is the king of giving you nothing.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
I actually think I know a little bit more about this because there was a leak of a guy that recorded a cell phone with another cell phone from like Brazil or something and claimed he had like an early thing. It had I think this game also has Margaret Qualley in it because she's been in a lot of he likes her a lot now. She was in Death Stranding but I think she's going to be one of the leads in this as well. Then Jordan Peele came out to basically be the exact opposite of Hideo Kojima. Like Hideo Kojima is very like kind of reserved. He's just standing there. He's like talking about all his grand visions. Jordan Peele comes out. He's just like, man, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 2. I loved it. This guy, he's great. I'm so happy to like work with him.
Yeah.
Like he came out and he was kind of like walking along to the music, and then the music paused and he stopped and just kind of like stared at the audience for a few minutes, and then he went back to like walking up again.
Yeah.
I want
he knows
somebody
how to play a crowd for sure. But Kojima said, and I only know this because John was real frustrated with the internet's reaction. Kojima said that Jordan Peele is one of many filmmakers that he's working with, and everyone, for some reason, I don't know if it was just like Twitter or some articles in the very, very early part of it were very like, and he's only working with Jordan Peele. It's just him and Jordan Peele. And it's like, did you guys miss the whole, for people that wanted to do like what we know based on the tiny details, you guys like glossed over a full sentence that man said.
Yep. Yes, I think. But then the thing is that even if he is only working with Jordan Peele, that's great. Like it was like when he was making when he was making PT or Silent Hills, he was only working with Guillermo del Toro and Junji Ito for the monster stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't need him to have to work with every person.
Well, I just mean like people were very like digging hard into the details of like what you could see.
Yeah.
And then Kojima was like, I'm working with many filmmakers, and they all ignored that. And it's like, how do you look at the minute detail, take a magnifying glass to your screen, and then ignore the fact that he said that there is other, do you know what I mean?
Like he said it out loud through a translator.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he literally told you, and you guys are just like, no, I'm just gonna ignore that. But let's look, zoom in on this face.
Yeah,
like,
one of the things that you can barely see, we have a story about it later if we get to it, is that Udo Kier's letters appear in his mouth. That like spell something out.
Wow.
There's also a really brief moment where it flashes a CT scan of a brain, and that was what you used in PT to do your gamma adjustment, was a CT scan of a brain. And because of the door opening up and the door that they came out of, a lot of people are thinking that what this is he just been spending a bunch of years taking what he was going to do with Silent Hills and filing enough of the serial numbers off to make it into a thing. And
that's
it's like
delicious.
That would be great.
Oh, please tell me Del Toro is at least going to help a little bit.
Maybe. I want those Junji Ito monsters.
Yeah.
Like we had that one trailer that had like 3 Junji Ito monsters.
Well,
I
think the problem is, especially because it was all signed on to do that Silent Hill game, that he might actually not be able to work with them on the this is what it would have been. Because
they were like contracts.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they could work together again, but it can't be with the thing that he is remaking from that. You know what I mean?
So,
he can't use those bones.
I'm super interested.
Yeah.
Super interested. Well, super interested.
I'm never not interested in his Kojima. I don't even play his games, but I like seeing a master at work.
some people really like Kojima, and a lot of people really hate him, and I tend to fall on the latter. So
I
a lot of people really, really dislike his games, and they're just like, oh, they're too pretentious. He's up his own ass. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's bad at making video games. I'm just like, I couldn't disagree more, but that's why opinions are opinions. So
it's just weird. There was a lot of rage on the like, Jeff Keighley, let him talk as long as he wanted to. Just like, it's like, one, Kojima doing something is always a big deal within the industry. So you want to let him talk. This is probably the biggest, in some sense, exclusive things. Like he had Kojima out here talking about his new game that kind of looks like it's going to be what PT was supposed to be. That's sort of a huge deal. PT was like a grand thing, and Jordan Peele being a big deal, and people were just like, just want to suck Kojima's dick. And it's like, I think it's okay for somebody to be appreciated. Like, it's real weird that you guys have to be like, no, what he should have done was spit in his face and tell him to get the fuck off the stage. Like,
well, also they're good friends. Like Jeff Keighley was in his last game, and as a fan of the game, kind of Norman Reed. Anyway,
it's just weird. Like you guys will just complain about complaining, but like it's
that's the internet. Jurassic Park Survival is probably the Jurassic Park game that people have been wanting for a long time.
No, I got the Jurassic Park game I wanted.
What was it?
It was the one where it was basically Sim City, but it was just make your own Jurassic Park.
Oh, sure. The one that Matt really likes.
Yeah.
This one's like a survival game, but you just happen to be on Isla Nublar when the Jurassic Park stuff is going down, and so you're like running and locking doors and trying to survive.
Help me, Sam Neill! Help me!
Yeah. So that's and we got a kind of the greatest hits.
Yeah, I've seen the movie, so this is all fine.
Yep, here come the raptors in the kitchen.
This is like, do you remember when Jurassic Park was a horror movie and not some weird action adventure thing?
And not like a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the T-Rex comes out at the end, and it's like, wow. And so they show a little bit of like first person kind of action survival, slamming doors on dinosaurs, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, you're lucky I don't have a thumb, otherwise I'd be able to turn that knob.
I'm sure Matt is very excited.
Yeah, but if I'm just playing the movie over again, I'm going to be mildly annoyed. I'm hoping it's like more game, and then they just sprinkle in like some of the scenes you know and love, and not.
I don't care about dinosaurs. They don't like excite me. Yeah. So anytime.
But it's kind of nice, a little refreshing. I mean, it's not refreshing when it's Jurassic Park because that's been around since like 95. Yeah. But it is kind of refreshing to have a survival horror, and it's not like zombies or like other dudes trying to like dinosaurs coming at you in that kind of first Jurassic Park sort of real version, as opposed to how they get a little fantastical later on.
You mean the super smart T-Rex that's like can turn invisible?
Yeah, the like weird shit they do where none of that. But like
I ejected from that franchise the moment in Jurassic World where they're just like, park attendance is down. People are just not interested in going to go see dinosaurs. It's like, bitch, we got zoos.
Yeah,
and I've been to zoos in my entire life. I still like to go to the zoo and go, polar bear, cool, like an octopus.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't need you to splice an octopus and a polar bear to get me to go to the zoo.
A polar puss?
A polar puss?
That sounds like the next sci-fi original movie.
Polar puss. We got the reveal for Rocket Racing. Man, Fortnite is fucking gone crazy. Like,
I know.
They put Lego Minecraft. Mm-hmm. They had the Rocket League guys make a full-on racing game, and it's got Rock Band in it now too. So, like, I think it's funny how people, like, you remember back in like the NFT days or whatever, when people are just like, oh yeah, we're totally going to make this, like, we're going to make the metaverse and we're going to set up this shitty thing. Yeah. And it's just like, no, they're actually doing that.
Yeah, Fortnite just went ahead and did it.
Yeah. And like, they just bought the guys that made Rocket League and then say, that's cool. Now put it in Fortnite. And they just, they bought Harmonix and they went, hey, you guys aren't making anything. Put it in Fortnite.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Can't be mad at it.
It's a pretty decent Rock Band. It's a pretty decent racing game. It's all got room for improvement and expansion.
Yeah, but I think they do well enough that it's like kind of nice. Like, because it feels like a cash grab. Like on paper, it sounds just like we're selling the same thing to you over and over again.
Sure.
But like from what I've heard, it's always like decent games. Like they're never bad.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's like, okay, Rocket League is not a racing game. It's an esports game. So now it's like, oh, you can play like with the people that have like 8 years of really good driving experience, but now it's a racing game.
Yeah.
Now it's Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And you can use your Venom skin in Mario Kart, right? Yeah. Oh, I want to play Minecraft, but I'm going to do it with the Leon Kennedy skin, the Michael Myers skin that I bought as a little Lego guy.
Yeah.
And with my friends. That's the biggest thing. Like Rock Band, there hasn't been one of those in a long time, and now you can play it, but you can also play it with your friends, and you choose which one you're going to do, and it puts your avatar in front of a crowd, rocking out. And in fact, there are parts where...
Did they make Ready Player One?
Sort of. There's even parts of the Rock Band one was really cute to me because they put places in the song, like if you're doing like the vocal track and there's a break, it'll drop the road and you can use your Fortnite emotes on the stage to like hype up the crowd and pick the ones that you want. And it's like, God, that's fucking smart.
Yeah,
like it doesn't seem
smart.
like much, but it's smart as hell. So yeah, it's good. And it's all free. Like you don't have to pay for any of it. So whatever.
Even better.
Black Myth Wukong got a release date. This is like a one-man like third-person action game that's based on the Journey to the West, Monkey King thing. It's got a big kind of horror action vibe to it.
Yeah, visually really nice. Man, this has been like banger after banger as far as visuals are concerned.
It's using Unreal Engine 5. It was one of the first ones to do that. And there's a lot of really interesting stuff. This one had a lot more voice acting, and it was all English voice acting, which is good because we've seen some action from this game, but we haven't seen a lot of the
like acting and dialogue in it.
And like apparently this is a very, very, very the Journey to the West is like hugely popular. But yeah, you can if the trailers are to be believed, it's be very action adventure, very cool, and it looks really pretty. And there's a lot of really interesting takes on these kind of monsters and mythology.
Is definitely you would want to give that a chance for sure.
Absolutely. And that's coming August 20th of next year.
Yep. Summer.
Suicide Squad Kills Justice League had a trailer.
Don't care.
You know what? I'm holding a tiny candle. It's not a big one, but I'm holding a little birthday candle for this game because I'm like, I don't know. There's no reason that it couldn't be good.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to play it and then be like, oh, okay. No, it was bad, just like everybody
It might be my bias, though, because I'm also just not a DC girly.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care.
I like DC a lot. And even though I'm starting to get a little tired of both the Suicide Squad and Evil Justice League, there's nothing to say that it couldn't be good. It could be good.
I mean, it could be fun. There's a lot of opportunities for
These guys are good developers. Maybe it'll be all right.
Yeah.
But next up, we had the Warframe Whispers in the Walls announcement. This is the latest Warframe expansion. It's got all kinds of like weird retro stuff. I was looking at it and I was like, oh, none of this makes any sense. But if you play Destiny, why not just play Warframe instead? Because it's like free.
Better. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, they also put a release date December 13th. We got a quick trailer for Banishers, which is the one from Don't Nod, the guys that made like Vampire, with the kind of husband and wife like ghost killer people.
Oh, so romantic.
Yeah, I don't know. This one is a little weird. They showed. I watched a deep dive from it where it was just like, well, you could break your oath as a ghost hunter and keep your wife alive and like feed her the spirits of innocent people, and she might be able to come back to life someday. Or you could destroy her ghost like you're supposed to because you're like a ghost hunter.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe that first one. Yeah. But then what happens? Like, what happens? You just do the game without your wife. And like the accidentally quick you speed run the game, right? You just go, I've learned my lesson before you had to learn your lesson. Yep. 1.0 launch trailer for Ready or Not came out. I didn't know what this was, and I looked it up, and it's just like a SWAT cop game. It's a very like detailed and people really like it SWAT cop game where like you'll get killed really fast if you get shot, like Rainbow Six used to be back in the olden days.
Yeah. It's definitely a crowd for that kind of game for sure.
Yep, it went into 1.0. It's got a campaign. It was in early access. It's done. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh my goodness, this guy's name is going to escape me, and I don't have this web page that I'm trying to use keeps locking up. This guy that was on, he was on Raised by Wolves. You remember that HBO show?
Yeah.
Let me see. Abu Bakr Salim. He was also in. He was in something else very recently. Oh, he was in Assassin's Creed Origins. That game, and he was in some other like TV shows. He started up a game company to take the stories that his father used to tell him about like African folklore and like make a video game about it.
Very cool.
He was very emotional and his voice was breaking when he was like talking to people. It was very cute.
Yeah.
This looks like a very kind of like I don't know, I don't think Afrofuturist is the right word, but like a very kind of traditionally inspired kind of 2D Metroidvania side scroller. Very bright and colorful. I am a sucker for a good Metroidvania, so it looks like it's got a bunch of cool like magic and some nifty, like a good art style.
Oh yeah.
And it's the sort of game that is
it's kind of refreshing. There's just a string of games where it's like dark and gloomy, and I really like that aesthetic, but it is then when you get not dark and gloomy, it's actually really refreshing to see it.
Where somebody's using like this console generation to be like, what if all the colors were huge explosion of lights?
Yeah, they're just like neon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this looks really good.
Yeah, it looks good.
And it's coming out April 23rd of next year. Lost Records Bloom and Rage for All the World. Oh, wait, that other one wasn't Don't Nod, was it? Because this is Don't Nod. For All the World, I was like, this is a Life is Strange game.
Yeah.
This must be a Life is Strange game. It's like 4 girls in the 80s, and they're like holding hands and smoking cigarettes and like wandering around in the woods.
I've read the Babysitter's Club. I know how this works.
And there's like, some bad stuff is happening, and everybody's coming of age and learning lessons about life.
If it's Life is Strange, one of them's gay, right?
This is a new original series that has nothing to do with Life is Strange, apparently.
Oh, well.
But at the end, they go look into the color out of space meteor pit. And I'm like, are you sure this isn't Life is Strange? This seems a lot like Life is Strange.
No. Well, yeah, a little bit.
I'd be willing to bet that this is going to play almost exactly like Life is Strange.
Yeah.
So, the first Berserker, Kazan, this is a weird one. This is a spin-off of some kind of like Asian MMO called DNF. They made a game called DNF Duel that Michael and I played that was a fighting game, but since they don't have actual characters in their game, it was like instead of Ken or Ryu, you were picking like fighter, mage, thief, but they were all like super stylized. This is like a single player game spin-off of some super emo dude like God of War in his way through a bunch of monochromatic monsters and stomping on their heads and chopping off heads and stuff. And hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
It's not. I'm sitting kind of far away from the screen, but it is not easy to look at.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of that cell shading, but it's a lot more like it's just very desaturated.
Yeah.
So it starts to become a little bit hard.
There's also just a lot of debris going on.
Yeah.
So like things spark, and it sparks like a million little flecks all over the place.
Yep. They had a Final Fantasy VII Part 3 trailer. I know because then they announced that Final Fantasy VII, they're going to put a bunch of Final Fantasy VII stuff in Apex Legends. I've decided that here we are at the end of 2023, and I don't want it. I don't want the multiverse anymore. I'm like, nope, stop it. Stop putting everything in everything. It's diluting everything. You just said
you were fine with Fortnite.
Nope.
Would it be okay if Final Fantasy VII was in Fortnite?
Yes, it was fine when it was Fortnite, but now it's fucking like I just got done seeing, I didn't put it in the list. It was a trailer for the new Call of Duty with Timothée Chalamet, the guy that's playing Fade Rotha, doing a knife battle in Call of Duty with their Dune skins that are in Call of Duty. I'm like, why are there Dune skins in Call of Duty? Why is Skeletor in Call of Duty?
First of all, how dare you? Skeletor can be wherever Skeletor wants to be.
I don't know what the fuck. So anyway, that Final Fantasy VII trailer had Sid in it, and I haven't seen that dude in that game yet, and he's my favorite guy, so I was kind of excited.
Okay.
Skull and Bones got a trailer.
Sure did.
And a beta.
Sure.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I give no shits about this game. You can't make me. You can make as many trailers as you want, Ubisoft. I don't care. I do care about Arcane Leon, who are the people that made Prey and Dishonored, and Deathloop. But not Redfall. That's Arcane Austin, I believe. They are making a Blade game.
Yeah.
And it looks like we just got a pre-rendered cutscene of like, apparently this is Paris. And just like when the sun goes down, you got to, if you're a person, you got to go inside because the vampires are coming out.
Well, you know how it is.
It is very interesting to me to see somebody not even trying to do a Wesley Snipes impression as Blade, like somebody doing a different take on Blade that I haven't seen,
which is kind of interesting
because I've only seen one, and it was Wesley Snipes.
Well, and it's so you know the thing about Wesley Snipes' Blade, right? That Blade before was just like a jive talking character, very stereotypical black man,
right?
And then Wesley Snipes wanted it and made it his own character. I mean, it's essentially just Wesley Snipes in a vest.
Sure.
And then they were like, Marvel went, oh, okay. And then they made it more like him. So, like, it's hard to not imagine Wesley Snipes as, or Blade as Wesley Snipes, because he created that. He
made it more popular.
Well, yeah, his version of it is the version that we've been seeing ever since then.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just as a cutscene, like, this is good.
Yeah.
And I like Arcane Leon a lot. They have not let me down. I like Deathloop. I like Dishonored. I like Prey was Austin. It was Deathloop and Dishonored was Leon. So I like them. And I will be very interested to see what they do.
I mean, Blade really opens you up to a lot of fun in the game.
Oh, my God. I just realized this, though. Amanda, oh, my God. How fucked is this? I just remembered. Arcane is two studios, Arcane Austin and Arcane Leon. Arcane Leon's next game is a game about a vampire hunter. Arcane Austin's last game was a game about vampire hunters that failed miserably. And it's almost like the same named studio is going to one-up them in a year with like a successful vampire hunting game.
It helps is making a really good game.
I like, how did that same studio get roped into two different vampire projects?
They were just going through a goth phase.
Yeah. They were just like, oh, maybe they had both projects. They were just like, okay, well, we got to split them up. And then they're just like, all right, call it in the air. The Last Sentinel is the strange one. This is very style. It's like a futuristic kind of thing where there's a bunch of like cops that are trying to break into a place with a bunch of children, and the children have like they have like a robot, like a porcelain robot geisha looking lady that gets smashed up, and then the children are like, oh no, and then the porcelain robot lady is like, don't worry, the demon is here, and this lady walks up in like leather with a samurai sword, and then it cuts to black. So
and then it fades to black.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where I have no, I mean, this is one of those ones where it's like, it's a good trailer, but the company that's making this is called Lightspeed LA, and they haven't done very much outside of like, they did like the PUBG mobile app and stuff where it's like, okay, well, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
But you got it. Now you have my attention. Whether you keep it will depend on what happens next.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Because, I like a cyberpunk action lady coming in and blowing shit up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. The vibe is off. I don't
know why her hair's so wet if she was wearing a helmet.
It's so funny. I was watching and the whole time I was just annoyed at the helmet.
Yep.
That Dead Space ass helmet.
It's one of those like self-closing, no eye hole helmets.
Yeah, I'm just something about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again,
I'd be interested to see more.
Yeah, that's where I am. This is an interesting art trailer. It doesn't even hint at.
Yeah.
It's not even showing me fake gameplay.
Yeah.
And like with Arcane Leon, I know what to expect from them because they always make kind of the same game with a different skin on it.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know what to expect from this because these guys.
Which can be either really exciting or just like a nice way of being like, oh, you guys can give me 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes of interesting, and that's about it.
Yep. The First Descendant is some kind of online bullshit. It's very pretty. It's very pretty, but like we're in the era where everybody has moved to like 4-player co-op extraction shooters instead of online live services. This was announced a while back. It's got a very good engine. It's got a good art team. It looks good. If this was a single player game, I'd be very excited to play it. But at the end, you see like 4 people running towards like a big boss, and it's like, oh,
never mind. Yeah.
Okay, this is one of those. No, I swear to God, it's got a single player campaign. I swear. It's like, well, I've heard people swear before. So, boo.
Fuck right.
Zenless Zone Zero got another trailer. I'm actually kind of hyped for Zenless Zone Zero. This is the next Hoyoverse game. So those are the people that make Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. This one is like a third-person action game, and it's a little bit more. It's kind of like semi-futuristic, dystopian. It speaks a little bit more to the type of game that I would play a lot of.
Yeah.
So, and they're very good at their character design and their art style. So I will be interested in seeing how this one goes.
Nice.
So, yep. Mecha Break was revealed. This is interesting. I didn't realize, I should have, but I didn't realize that once we had a new Armored Core, that we would have like
a bunch of
the Armored Core imitators.
Yeah.
The same way that when we get Souls, we have Souls imitators.
Yeah.
Because when this first came on, I was like, is that a Gundam? It's colored exactly like a Gundam.
Yeah.
It's not a Gundam. This is an original thing. Some kind of third-person action mech game. It looks a little bit more arcadey and frenetic than Armored Core, which is fine. I like a good mech game, so I'll probably give it a go.
Mech it up.
Yep. I don't know.
It just looks like a mech game. I'm not a mech girl, so to me it's just like giant robot. Yes,
giant robots. Lots of giant robots. Couldn't be happier. I think there's an alpha test coming for that.
Ooh.
Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 got a release date, which is September of next year, and a new trailer, which a bunch of, what you would expect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Warhammer,
I'm skipping GTFO, got a teaser for their final chapter. GTFO is a horror sci-fi extraction thing where you play multiplayer online. Probably this game, it's got very good reviews. I've never actually put it on RageSelect, but it's like a multiplayer extraction thing where you go into a place, you're trying to be stealthy, and then you're trying to go loud, you're trying to collect enough stuff to get out, whatever. Den of Wolves was the next game from the people that are making Payday 2. I know the people making Payday 2 are making Payday 3, but apparently it's a different group.
Oh.
This trailer is about like a guy that's interrogating somebody in a cyber interrogation. And then at the very
What does that mean?
It means everything's all futuristic.
He, plug into him?
Like robots. Sort of.
Did he hack his planet?
Because at the very end, the guy that's being tortured or whatever kind of gets out of his chair, and it turns out that actually the guy that's interrogating him is like stuck in carbonite, and he's the one that's being tortured.
Oh.
He's in the Den of Wolves.
What?
Wow! I can't tell, but this looks a lot like Cyber Payday 2.
Yeah, a little bit.
If that's Cyber Payday 2.
They do have a love of masks.
Yep. They've got guys in white masks, but they're cyber masks now.
Cyber. Welcome to the future, old man.
Exoborn looks like absolute shit. It's another 4-player extraction thing. It takes place on a like an Earth where gravity is all messed up. So in the trailer, people are kind of flying around.
It has to be a little. This might just be me. It might be a little ballsy to show these trailers during the Game Awards when these like fantastic games this year are coming out, and it's like, oh, you mean Baldur's Gate and Alan Wake 2 and like Legend of Zelda and this and that, and then it's like we're gonna show our trailer after people talk about all of these fantastic games.
Sure,
like.
This is
it
why
not a little nerve-wracking?
Stuff like this, though, is why I think that people were disappointed, because we're getting kind of towards the end.
Yeah.
And like you think at the beginning we had like Case the Golden Idol and like, we have that thing from the Ori and the Blind Forest people and like things like that. And it's like, oh, it can only like they're starting with Case the Golden Idol sequel. Where are they going to go from here? And then it's like 4-person extraction shooter made in China.
Yeah.
By Nexon.
Like they forgot to give you like the big bang at the end.
Right. Well, so I don't know. You can take your own. Make your own, come to your own decisions.
You can bang yourself.
Asgard's Wrath 2 got a launch trailer. This is just some bullshit fucking like VR wizard game that looks like every other fucking VR wizard game that exists. Matt Mercer does a voice for it. Okay.
You're not going to sell me with Matthew Mercer.
The Fallout TV series got a thing where they came out and then they showed the trailer that was the same trailer that they released earlier that week, cut in a different order.
Yeah.
All scenes that we've seen before, nothing new. Okay, this was really interesting. I don't know if you know about this, but Sean Murray came out. They did a big it was actually really impressive. It was a montage of all of the No Man's Sky updates, like launch and then like Echoes and Frontiers and like Lightspeed and all like, and it was going like, it had a little like, it was showing what year they came out, because that game has been updating for like 5 years. And so it just went through showing all the new stuff from every trailer.
Yeah.
And then he was like, we're working on something new. And Keely was like, well, can you show us what it is? And he was like, yes, I can. And so the thing is that this is called Light No Fire. And here's the thing. I'm excited for this because they messed up the launch of No Man's Sky, but they have done the work to redeem themselves.
Yeah.
So No Man's Sky is a whole universe.
That's right. I only remember, I didn't see this trailer, but the only thing I remember is that he doesn't say a lot when they ask him about this.
Yes.
And it's like, I learned my lesson.
So
because he promised the world with No Man's Sky.
So Light No Fire is like an Earth, but it's like the size of an actual Earth. Like if you see a mountain, it's not like it's your jetpack.
Like an Earth, or are we on Pluto?
No, like an Earth,
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be like the opposite of No Man's Sky. So everybody's on one planet.
Yeah.
It's a procedurally generated giant planet. But here's what I love:
skeleton man.
It's a medieval fantasy thing, and there's like, it looks like No Man's Sky, but then there's like skeletons and like monsters that you have to kill with swords, and I'm like, well, that's all I was missing.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah, that looks great.
So they did a No Man's Sky trailer, this kind of like, it's exactly edited the same way as a No Man's Sky trailer, but they've got like, you building houses, you got mounts that show at one point here, I think pretty soon, like a giant bird.
Yeah, there
it is. You just fly on a back of a giant bird.
Hell yeah.
It's like bunny people. There's like dragons, and there's like
straight in Dragoon right there.
Yep. And then there's like mountains that are the size of like people mountains.
Yeah.
That take
people
like,
mountain.
Well, like,
none of these fucking puppy mountains.
Well, that's what they are.
Yeah,
like,
no, I know what you mean. It's just really funny.
So the idea, like, that you have an actual world that you kind of start off with, and I don't know if this is going to be like you're going to have each world is going to have a certain
Minecraft
player number
with mods. I'm just throwing.
Hey, that's great. Also got some big No Man's Sky looking motherfuckers
Holy
looking at
shit,
people.
I thought that was building.
Yep. Got people riding horses and
There's
flying.
an antlered animal riding an antlered animal.
They got the bunnies, bunny people.
yeah,
There's like a seal person.
I don't think I want to hang out with the bunny people.
Like ogres, a bunch of furries.
You guys like Sonic, or what's going on here?
And yeah, I'm like, hey, if they learn their lesson and they launch correct,
yeah,
fucking A, man. I'd love to get on the ground floor of one of these. And this is a little bit more to my taste. I also like the fact that the logo for it is like, half No Man's Sky. So No Man's Sky is a giant diamond with a circle off to one side, and this is like half the diamond with the circle in the middle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the
I'm
thing
kind
is,
of into it. Yeah.
if they hadn't have done the work, I wouldn't be interested.
You'd be like, yeah, right, okay.
Right, but they did. Like, the thing is that I think a lot of people are just like, oh, well, here comes Sean Murray again, like writing checks that he can't cash. It's like,
yeah. But
I
he
think
did
he's learned.
technically cash it by the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got building, you've got survival, you've got action, you've got adventure, you've got big multiplayer stuff. And they do big open world stuff different than other people.
Yeah.
In a way that I'm like, okay, could be fun. Yeah, sure. Sign me the hell up. I'm ready to go.
Can we talk about how the dragons don't look the same?
Oh, yeah.
They're all different. They're straight. And now, because you just replayed the trailer, you're on like a nice svelte dragon, but like
the big fatties.
Yeah, there's like a chonk boy over there.
Big chonkers. I just like the big bird.
I'm gonna go catch me one of them fat dragons.
Gotta have a dumper. Also, there's that like just floating island, like that's there. Like somebody built their house up in the sky.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like this. Like, this to me is very exciting. So.
Yeah.
Boop.
Definitely.
Stormgate is not exciting. They had Simu, what's his name from
Liu?
Yeah, Simu Liu.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, he came out to say that he was voicing one of the characters. I've known about this for a long time. This is a real-time strategy game that's like supposed to be like the next StarCraft, because nobody's making anything like that right now.
Yeah.
But like, these are all cutscenes, and the actual game looks like StarCraft.
I hate when that happens. The cutscenes look great, and then
Yep.
It's just like little teeny tiny dudes doing little teeny tiny things.
And to me, I think it's really focused on more like PvP than PvE, and I'm just like, nope, not interested. Don't care. So
yeah, it's never been my style of game. So
I don't know. I might give it a try when it comes into early access, but I'm maintaining my skepticism. Dude, fucking okay, YouTube. No, it's not. But first, no, it's not. And second,
YouTube's like, this might be inappropriate. Meanwhile, we've watched like axolotls get bludgeoned into bloody pulps, and they seemed totally fine with us.
This is Final Fantasy. No, It's not going to be. It's like the opposite of that movie. There will be no blood. So they announced 2 new DLCs for Final Fantasy 16, Echoes of the Fallen, and then Rivers of Your Mother or whatever. I don't remember. The Rising Tide.
Of your mother.
Of your mother. Michael and I played this one for the dojo this week because we both ended up kind of liking Final Fantasy 16, even though I still don't think it should be called that. And so, yeah, one is out right now, and the other one is coming out next year. It's $25 for both, or like 15 and 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
There was an icon, the Leviathan icon didn't show up in the game, and so this is maybe a way of showing that. Sure, man. Final Fantasy 16 was like really popular with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Put out some DLC for it, Square Enix. I kind of don't understand why I haven't seen it before now. It was nice though that one of them was just like, and it's out right now.
Yeah. Available right meow.
Yeah. So spring 2024 for the next one.
That's not even that far away.
Yep. The finals was launched.
We've talked about the finals, haven't we?
It was the one that has the AI announcers.
Yeah.
Yep. But it went free to play. It went online. It's out.
We're playing it right now.
I'm gonna make somebody play it just because I got to see if it's any good. But it's not really. Again, this is not my style of game. 3-player squad based battle royale kind of thing.
Could be fun though.
Could be. Some of them are all right. I played that racing game in Fortnite, and I won. Like against actual humans.
What was that like?
I was like...
You should have recorded.
Well, no, I didn't. I was just like, well, surely you motherfuckers aren't this bad at it. But the thing is that...
I like your thought was like, I won this race, so clearly everybody sucks at this game.
I think that they...
anyone halfway decent.
I think they have a ranking system, and I was still in the lower rank, so I was getting paired up with the scrubbos.
Yeah. I was fighting all the 6-year-olds.
Yep. And then the big reveal is there's a new Monster Hunter game.
Neat.
This
so exciting.
This is not my style of Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
This is the ultra realistic. Like the last one was Monster Hunter World. This will be Monster Hunter Worlds. because it can't just be Monster Hunter World 2.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I think that the graphics for this look kind of bad. Like, I liked it. I liked the Switch version where they were very stylized and bright and colorful. This is all just so brown. And then all the monsters move in really kind of robotic fashions.
Yeah.
Like,
I keep, I don't know why, but I keep trying to like Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And it has not taken. I keep giving it a shot. My brother loves it. Yeah. And every once in a while he'll try to get me into it. And a few times I've tried to get it, like different ones that have come out over the years. And every time I'll play for like a couple of hours. I'll play for a day or a weekend. And then that's it. And then I just never think about it again.
Did you play the Switch one?
No, the only one.
Because I didn't like it for a long time.
I think there was a demo and I tried that and I was like...
I tried playing it a whole bunch of times and then I played the Switch one and I was like, oh, I like this. I get this.
There's something about it that I feel like it's going to be like Brussels sprouts where you're a kid and you're like, I hate it. It's the worst. And then one day as an adult, you're going to be like... You know what? No. Actually, I think my taste buds have matured.
That's exactly what happened to me because I was like, oh... You've been preparing it wrong the entire time, but you made it into an anime, and now I'm totally down with it. Like,
and I think there's something about it, like it's missing one ingredient that's going to keep me, but I don't know why it's Monster Hunter, but it's always Monster Hunter that I try it with. Yep. Like, I'll never try. You know what? Final Fantasy, exact opposite. I'm so sorry. I'm allergic to gluten. I can't have that.
I can't have your Final Fantasy.
I cannot do Final Fantasy. I'll get bloated, and I'll just feel really bad for like a week, so I just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this doesn't look as good as the RE engine usually looks.
Yeah, like, it's not, nothing's appealing about it.
It's very brown. Maybe there's a better trailer. See, I think you could think that maybe that Last of Us 2 remastered trailer was supposed to be the end cap and they had to throw something together, or this just wasn't supposed to be here's the final thing that we have to show you tonight, because like if this was the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, that would have been, but this is the last thing in people's minds. Yeah. And then if you go back and you look, it was this, and it was the Trials, and it was Final Fantasy 16 DLC, and it was the Stormgate, and then like Light No Fire. There was a lot of these kind of very similar looking games that kind of all stacked up, and I think that a lot of those, like, one, the breakneck pace didn't give people anything to get really excited about, and then the things that I'm excited about, they're subtle excitement. It's not like I'm out of my chair going, oh my fucking god! Like,
I refuse to believe you didn't get out of your chair for Rise of the Golden Idol.
I didn't know. I got out of my chair.
Had you seen that like real time when it happened, you would have been like throwing chairs out the window, cheering.
I would have started watching that chair and I've been like, what is this? And the moment they showed the people, I would have been like, oh fuck. Yeah. Oh fuck.
I don't know what to do. Is it out now? Can I play it now?
Can I do it? Can I do it now? Can I have it? I'll be honest, I was let down at the end of the show, but it was because there were so many rumors online that they were going to show the first trailer for the Elden Ring DLC there, and they didn't. And I was like, oh, wah. Like, I did that to myself, and so I'm not mad at the Game Awards.
Don't trust the internet.
Yep. So...
except us. You guys trust us.
Hey.
But don't trust the internet.
I don't do much quote-unquote reporting here. I mostly just tell people stuff that I read on the internet.
You can trust us. We're just telling you our opinions.
That is correct. But yeah, they also, they could have had something else. Like, if that had ended with the Grand Theft Auto trailer, if it had even ended with, like, see, I think that, like, ending it with the Golden Idol trailer would have been, like, more impressive. Or even like the Dragon Ball trailer.
Yeah, I think the Golden Idol might have been only impressive to you. Or like the group that liked the Golden Idol. Yes. Though it was like a little sleeper hit, it wasn't like,
I think there are a lot of other trailers you could have put there. The Valhalla trailer for God of War with like, and it's out today. The Final Fantasy 16 trailer at the end, and it's out today.
Yeah, they needed somebody to really like reorganize how all of that was shown.
It's also like when you looked at that Monster Hunter trailer, it wasn't like, I know Monster Hunter can look better than that. Yeah. A lot of it was just a guy writing a thing through a pack of dudes in like a dusty area. Like Monster Hunter has giant fuck off monsters that you hit with giant fuck off weapons.
Yeah, it was a storm cloud of brown.
Right.
And it just didn't do anything.
So, yeah, I think there was ways that you could have put that together. I also think they should cut down. There were a lot of superfluous trailers in there.
Yeah.
I would have cut a lot of those.
I just wonder how many is Jeff Keighley being a little cutie patootie and just not wanting to like tell anybody no. Because, like, if you're trying to, build something, I know the Game Awards have been around for long enough that it's kind of built, but
stacked.
Maybe he just, like, didn't want to say no or seem like he didn't, actually only for the biggest and best, you know what I mean?
Right.
You want to be the one that, like, maybe there's some little sleeper hit amongst those trailers and be like, you got your first look of it here.
Yeah. I think they should have cut a whole bunch of these.
Yeah.
Like GTFO, get that. GTFO. Like Warhammer release
I
date.
think a lot of these video game companies really need to consider whether or not their fucking trailers are worth watching right now.
Skull and Bones.
I feel like DLC, unless it's like a big thing, get it the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Like, I know that there's a lot of people that are interested in a lot of this stuff, but you just, like, you got to make some cuts. It's like Jeff every week with the RageSelect podcast. You got to cut some stuff.
That's what I tell you all the time. You just got to cut it out.
And
cut it out.
Boy, we are kind of out of time, but I think we're going to lightning around a couple of stories.
Sure.
Just real fast.
Just the good ones about NFTs.
Yes. E3 is canceled officially.
It's dead.
The ESA announced that they are not going to be doing E3. There's been no move to sell that name to anybody else. But basically, like, what happened, what I've been saying was going to happen, it happened.
Yeah.
Nintendo can do their own presentation. They don't need to spend millions of dollars and all the stress of going to the LA Convention Center. I hope that Keighley seems like he's picking up the gauntlet with Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
But to be honest, as somebody who does this for a living and does the news, I don't think we need E3 anymore. Like, we just need, like, every couple of months, Microsoft has a thing. Sony has a State of Play.
Yeah.
Nintendo has a Direct. EA has a thing, and they show you. Ubisoft had here's the new games. Like, I don't think we need to centralize this stuff anymore because we'll watch it whenever you put it out. You could do it from your house.
And even kind of beyond the trailer palooza that happened in E3. E3 used to be an exclusive expo in which you had to be in the business to go. And people would, like, just industry people would be talking about specs and marketing and blah, blah, blah. It completely lost sight of what it was. Like, Comic-Con level lost sight of what it was. It was not necessarily supposed to be, like, trailers left and right and game dropping. I remember I had an ex who went to E3 back when you had to be industry to get. There was no, we sell tickets and you can just show up.
Yep.
And it was, like, very difficult to get in and have your credentials and everything. And, like, I don't know, it's just crazy that what it became and how quickly after it became that, how quickly it just shut down because of it.
Yep. Let's see. I got to do just the big stuff. The Day Before came out this week. This was a game that was the #1 most wish-listed game on Steam. It was supposed to be an open world MMO zombie game where you would kind of go out and there would be a big open world full of zombies and you and your friends would get in a car, you drive out and you would shoot zombies and you would collect resources and you would bring them back to base. It had been mired in bad shit for a long time. It came out. It was not that. It was an extraction shooter with small limited maps where you would go with 4 people, you would get stuff and you would pull back out again. It went to overwhelmingly negative right away.
Like it do.
Half their sales were refunded in the first week, and the company that made it is now going out of business.
Wow.
Trying to work with Steam, the publisher, who I think is just some East Asian publisher, is trying to work with Steam to give everybody a refund if they want it, no matter what.
They're just like, take your money back. We're done.
There are no updates.
We had a dream once.
Nothing is being planned.
The
company that made it says they are going out of business. I do not believe them. They keep changing the name of the developer on previous games that they have put out, indicating that they're trying to kind of scrub their name off of other stuff so that, because a lot of when one game is bad, a lot of times on Steam, the other games will start getting downvoted as a protest.
Why do that? They're offering your money back. Like, I understand the, like, frustration of, like, wanting to play this game, whatever, and it being a disappointment, but, like, if they're giving you your money back, that
do not underestimate the vindictive power of shitty ass PC gamers.
Yeah.
Who like it's not a like somebody is already online doing like we need a petition to bring a lawsuit for false advertising against like this company and Steam and we're all gonna sign on to it, and it's just like you got burned.
Yeah.
You bought, you got the decoder ring and it said be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Like
yeah.
This is a life lesson. Get your refund from Steam. Move on.
Yeah.
Like it's not you don't need to like make a movement to crush somebody on the internet because the game that you thought you were going to get was not the game that you got. Oh,
why do they always have this energy for a smaller stuff and not the big stuff? You know what I mean? It's never like
because the people that made this game will actually pay attention to their Twitter bitching.
Yeah.
Whereas EA does not give two shits about what you think about Battlefield.
EA don't give a fuck about anybody.
They want your money.
Yeah.
And if you get your money, that's all they care about. They are not going to offer unlimited refunds. They do not care at all.
Yeah.
Like you bought a semi-functional video game. Joke's on you. You should have waited to see how it went. Like caveat emptor, bitch. But we'll see how it goes. Did you see the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer?
Yes.
Did you see the references that it was making references to? Like there's a bunch of stuff that you see in the Grand Theft Auto trailer that are like they're actual like TikTok videos of people actually.
Oh yes,
that are actual things.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy with the face tattoos,
He's
Florida
suing,
Joker,
right?
He says he's suing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Yo, Rockstar, we need to have a conversation. You need to either like." You need to like compensate me because you ripped off my. In fact, I think today there was a story that he dyed his hair purple just so that it more closely matched that.
Yeah.
The voice actor for Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2 stitched him on TikTok and was like, "You're looking at this all wrong, friend. You need to use this fame that's coming your way and do something with it because Rockstar has lawyers for days.
Yeah.
You are
also just because of what they base it on. I don't think he can sue.
It's parody.
Yeah.
Like any judge would say it's parody,
Yeah.
and you're gonna spend 6 years and fucking $500,000 in court for a judge to go, this is parody, it is protected by fair use. No.
You would
Rockstar
have to have a very specific like the tattoo artist would have to sue for copyright of his art, except the tattoos aren't one for one.
Nope.
So it's like you can't be like, I'm the only guy that's ever been tattooed. That way.
They literally stole dances in Fortnite.
Yeah.
And the judge was like, it's not the same medium. It doesn't count. Like,
it's just
nope. Like if they had done 1-to-1 with your tattoos and your facial structure, you might be able to hire somebody to come in and start talking about the angles of your cheekbones and shit. But any judge is going to be like, you in America, the level you have to get to for like identity theft, fraud, infringement on your personal whatever, it is high. You could take them to court, but they've got lawyers to just stand there and be like, Your Honor, look, he's got purple hair or he's got green hair. Our guy has purple hair.
That's it.
Case dismissed.
Yeah.
Like, yep, that's it. Like you're done. So. Yes. Big news. Epic won their case against Google for the store
People
thing.
can win cases against Google?
Yep.
Wow.
Google did a really bad job. This was a thing where Google literally had an internal chat function where they added an option to be like, after an hour, delete all of these messages from the server. And they were told to stop doing that because these were going to be necessary for this case. They didn't. And in fact, there was evidence that people were like, oh, we need to talk about the Google case. You call me right now and don't send anything more in this message. And like specifically that.
Yeah.
And they would be like, well, do you have phone records? Like, no. And they'd be like, okay, so you did that so that we didn't have evidence of what you discussed on the phone. You were specifically told to not do that. I could be getting this confused in another case, but I think the judge told the jury that like you now have to like basically assume Google was guilty unless they can prove otherwise because they have done so much tampering that like you can't.
Yeah.
But And what this means is that Epic might be able to get on Google platforms, we might be able to get competitors to the store. I think another big thing was that Google was literally finding people that were making alternative stores and then like pressuring them to not do that and to put their stuff on the store / paying them off.
Yeah.
Another thing they do that's different than Apple, because Apple won their case against Epic. Like Google waived Spotify's entire like cut that goes to Google to get them on the Play Store.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, this is like, you can't give special treatment to some people and not to other people, et cetera, et cetera. This could be big.
Yeah. Real sloppy, Google.
They're appealing it, but yeah. Let's see. You know that Rock Band in Fortnite?
Yes.
Epic is saying the first thing on their list in 2024 is they're going to try to get the old controllers to work.
Holy shit.
So you can actually bust out your Rock Band guitar and play, or drums or whatever, and play on Fortnite. You can play Rock Band in Fortnite with your plastic guitars. I didn't think I would ever get those motherfuckers out of storage. DJ Hero, when?
Holy shit, you're right. My God.
We had trailers. There was one trailer. Let me just go through these real fast. Alone in the Dark has been delayed from January until March. Fallout 4's next-gen update has been delayed until next year. Baldur's Gate 3 is out on the Xbox Series X, Xbox and Series X and Series S right now. The Xbox Series X is $100 off for the holidays, and some retailers have gone even more. Like I think Walmart has them on sale for like $350, which is like $150 off.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
It's big.
I mean, it's not great. I'm poor, but like still not bad.
Yep. And Valve wants people to stop smelling the fumes coming out of your Steam Deck, which is apparently
no dice,
like
Gabe. I'm doing it.
A thing. And then last but not least, I think of all the trailers that I had, I didn't have that many more trailers, but I thought you would really like this one, Amanda.
Yeah.
This is a game called Mouse.
I've seen this trailer.
Yeah. It's basically kind of like Cuphead, the first-person shooter.
Yeah, I genuinely, when I saw it, thought it was like fan art. I thought it was fake. I thought somebody was like, it'd be funny, and then made this.
Yep.
And then to find out it was a real thing, and I was very confused and was like, you guys really tempting fate with any sort of straight up mouse.
Oh.
Like, that is fully just goofy body Mickey Mouse.
Right. Yeah.
Head. And that's like shocking that they did it.
It's not quite as seamless as Cuphead because it's in 3D, which doesn't work. That art style with 3D doesn't entirely work.
Yeah,
but it's pretty interesting. I knew that this was real because they put out a tech demo where it was just in a big gray room full of gray boxes.
Yeah.
Before they had any environments, and I was like, well, that's interesting. Show me. Come back when you've got like a world to show me.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
I get that vibe too. That's neat. Yep. I don't know. I would play it, but I think it's more just like Nito Toledo. And that's about it.
That's it. There was some other stuff, but none of it was all that important.
Yeah.
And we got through the entire Game Awards with only an extra, like 5 minutes.
Nice.
So there you go. That is one hell of an almost the end of 2023 podcast. Can't wait for the Golden Idol. So happy. I'm so happy.
So excited.
So happy.
Give it to me now.
It's like I was so bummed when I got to the end and there was no Elden Ring DLC. And then I went back and started watching the stuff that I missed. And I was like, there's going to be a new Golden Idol game. Fuck you, Elden Ring. Get out of here. Patreon.com/RageSelect. Do that. Help us. Help me, please. I don't have anything else. That's just, do it. You know what to do. You do it for Santa. Make Santa put $5 in my Patreon this year.
That's how you get on the nice list.
It is. And in fact, you can watch Amanda and I play all of Alan Wake 2 if you do that. So
yeah.
Which I feel bad about. I feel like everybody... Like, they've got New Game Plus out. I'm like, we're like 5 episodes in.
Yeah, sorry about that. Blame John and his kidney.
In fact, actually, we should probably wrap this up so we can play more Alan Wake.
Hell yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.